photos would make me sick right now, but I have been. I gotta keep a low profile, you know.
Yeah.
Last one had a lot of views. We're not getting any of this on the mic.
Are we rolling?
Yeah.
Oh shit! Like we're on right now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
How does this work?
Sounds a rock and roll.
Oh, I got it too tight. That's why. Let me just redo everything real quick. Oh my god. There we go. So that should be tight enough right there. But yeah, it's general. Yeah. Yeah, dude, I was trying to make this a fun one, but now I just feel like I manipulated y'all to come.
No.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I can't hear shit from me.
That's good. Now, okay, there we go.
But you can hear me.
I can hear you.
I think that means my headset isn't.
This chair's about to break.
Is it?
If mid.
Do you want to switch it for the other one? You want to start over?
Yeah.
You want to start over?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had no idea we were even rolling.
Well, that's kind of what makes it good.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
You want to switch that chair out?
It'll be good talk bait.
I don't know why. Now I can.
Super comfy.
Oh, that's why. It should be this.
You need to get
Test. Yeah. I can hear myself better.
That's good.
Your mic is like.
What? Oh. Okay.
What's up, dude? Haven't seen you in a while.
Been all right.
You're now Victor 1-1, right?
Victor 1-1. I forgot about that too.
How's that going?
It's going. I feel like nothing has changed. I work at the same place.
You work at the Raz?
Work at the Raz. Work at the Raz, and it's. I think I just am doing the same thing. I'm doing exactly what I was doing before, just I guess in a battalion now.
I don't know, dude. I was really resistant, and I was hoping this would happen to you. I was really resistant of going to where I went, and then especially with
I forgot. Yeah, you're in
especially with the chief.
Yeah,
dude, it's been like incredible.
Yeah, that's good.
I got my FMF pin. Like
I know. Yeah,
I'm not getting basically kicked out of the Navy, which would have happened if I didn't have my FMF pin.
Right.
I would have at least gone needs of the Navy and like showed up somewhere with an SP and just looked like a total piece of shit.
No, I know. That would have been essentially a career killer already if you don't have your pin. They're going to be like, oh, this guy sucks.
Yeah.
Put him
and that's
in supply.
that's even what the IDC in 2-1 was saying. He's like, yeah, dude, you can show up to another place without your pin. He's just like, but the second I read your rocker,
yeah,
I'm going to think you're a piece of shit.
Yeah. Why don't you have your pin?
Yeah. And like, you're kind of blacklisted ever since. And that kind of happened to me at Fort Belvoir. I showed up from Corps School and I have like my fat stack.
Yeah.
And like I'm talking with my handler in the beginning.
You had a handler?
Yeah. You didn't have a like a point of contact to.
Oh, point of contact. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, he's like showing me around and shit.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit concerned why I can't hear myself good.
Can
you hear myself good in here?
I can hear myself good in there.
Can you hear me though?
Yeah.
You hear me good in the headphones.
I hear you very well.
Dude, Jamie, can you
Jamie. Jamie, could you pull up his volume?
Maybe it's because I have this stupid hat on. Maybe that's it.
No, I think it's just because you're a soft talker. Yeah. Do you want to start over? Whoa.
Are you like super loud now?
I am going, yeah. Bring me down to a 10. We were at 11.
My kids, I think I fixed it. My kids come in here and fuck with it. I'm done. The bit's over. The bit's over.
The bit's been done. It's flapping in the wind.
My kids come in here and just fuck with everything. So I figured you would be like, yo, what is this?
Yeah, what is this?
Pull it out, dude. I've had these since deployment.
Got some.
These are Ert Novetchki squirt guns.
Ert Novetchki?
Yeah.
Sounds pretty communist. What's up with this?
Do you not know either of those companies?
Ert
Ert, the little seal thing.
Oh, Ert.
Yeah.
Oh,
and then Novetchki, the Oregon gun maker.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, dude, we could just point them at each other's faces. I guess there's something like...
What was that?
There's a trigger on.
Oh, it's California compliant.
Yeah, dude.
Can't shoot it.
See if I pull this out and then reinsert it, pulled off YouTube.
Yeah, it's done.
Let me put this suppressor on.
Flagged.
Yeah.
So, what is this chambered in?
I don't know, dude.
H2O.
Let's see. Yeah, H2O, something clever.
It'd be pretty cool to fill this up with acid and shoot it at people.
Just shoot your LPO in the face with acid. You should never do that.
No. But if I don't, don't do that.
Yeah.
But if you don't have your FMF pin, that would be expected out of you.
Dude, it's so funny. I've never dealt with. So, when I showed up to where I'm at now, I remember talking to Kung, because like they're like, "Hey, dude, just go study your FMF pin."
Yeah.
I'm just like locked away in some fucking closet somewhere. Like some dude pop in, like, "You're still here?" I'm like, yeah, I'm still here.
I'm still here.
Oh, dude, you can go home. I'm like, well, I'm just studying. Like, y'all don't. I'm good. Like,
it's Friday.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I don't want to see my family.
Yeah, Kung comes and sits down. He's talking to me. I'm like, so what do they have you doing? Like, he's like, I don't know. I see like a couple sick call patients, but like I have my pin. Everybody that doesn't have a pin just is like mopping floors and doing all this shit. And it's not like crazy, but it truly is like that. And like one of the HM2s, there's one HM2 that's not pinned. And then there's one HM2 that's like trying to pick up E6. Totally respect it. He's been in like 11 years. And there's Garcia's brother. He's also, but he's pretty chill. He's been gone though. And then there's this other one that knows Whitaker.
Oh, sick.
And he's just like, let him suffer, bro. I'm like, yeah. He's like, dude, fuck sick call. Fuck all that shit, dude.
Yeah.
He's like, you've been here. You've done that. You just got your pin. Like, fuck them.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah, man.
And
you tell me so.
Yeah, on what was it, like Wednesday at pool coverage, and it got canceled. I'm like, hey, do y'all want me to come back? He's like, yeah, I think Chief mentioned something about you this morning. And like the whole ride back for 45 minutes, like, oh, dude, I'm a piece of shit.
You came up here, yeah.
I felt like I was a piece of shit, and like they're gonna talk to me like, you don't do anything around here.
Right.
Yeah.
He told me not to.
Not now.
Yeah.
You know, those are strong words, but
yeah,
that was interesting. And I do try and pick up, you know, sick call patients and shit. It's so different though.
So you went back to do sick call.
That's mainly what my new unit is sick call.
But what did the chief call you back for?
He just needed morning muster for MOL.
Oh. That's
I was all up in my head for nothing, dude.
Yeah. You're like, you come over and like your salute. It's just like, wait, whoa, what's going on here? Yeah. I don't know. I'm just really nervous.
You click your heels together like a Nazi.
Yeah. Making noise.
Your attention is like this.
Yeah. Yeah, knife hands and shit.
Have you seen that show? What was it with the Nazis and the Japanese took over America?
Man in the High Tower?
Yeah. Have you seen that?
No, that freaks me out.
It's weird. It goes off the rails.
Yeah.
But what freaked me out was like all the military uniform customs of the Nazis, like the clicking of the heels and like their attention is like knife hands at the side.
Yeah.
And every time their salute, which is a Roman salute, like I'm not going to do it. It's fucking good. Yeah.
That one. Yeah.
Yeah. The one, you know, the one,
the high tower formation. Yeah.
Well, it's a Roman salute and that used to be common. So
yeah.
Do you know the history of Nazis or anything like that?
They just ruined the fun of the Roman salute.
Well, the Nazis ripped off a bunch of different shit.
Yeah, no, they're not original.
No, and they also, what did they do? They, what is it when you have like a group together and they all try and like figure something out, like troubleshoot? Like
brainstorming?
They brainstormed the swastika and it had like many iterations.
Yeah, I'm sure that took a long time. It's super complex, just...
Well, yeah, they tilted and reversed the Native American, or is it Indian, like India the nation, or like Native American, the four seasons. It's like literally the four seasons, and it'll have like little dots.
Oh, I don't know if it was Native American. I think it was actual Indian.
Yeah, from
Yeah.
India.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Like the chakras?
no, dude, it's so the swastika's on like a diamond, right?
Yeah.
It's set up like a diamond.
Mm-hmm.
The native, whatever it is, it's flipped the other direction, so the stents are going the other direction, and it's flat. And then sometimes you'll see it where it has 4 dots on each flat side. And where it is, they have to post up like, this is not a swastika. This is a very ancient, no.
Right.
I don't know. I feel that's interesting, but
It is interesting. Yeah, I mean, the history, especially as odd as it sounds, is one of the most interesting militaries and just mindsets was like the 30s, 40s, 1930s, 40s Germany. Like the Nazi army was like such an kind of like an outcast of militaries, but they wanted to be obviously superior, but they were kind of just snagging what they liked from other militaries and whatnot, but like just downright like interesting.
Yeah. And then what always got me, it's like, where did they get these generals? You know, like,
You think they like recruited them, or like as in?
Well, didn't most of them, weren't they regular German army, or did?
Right. Well, yeah.
I'm confused on the history. I'm bad at history.
Yeah.
And then B, like, so was after a war, you're usually not allowed to have a military, right?
Depends what conventions you used to follow. Like Geneva Convention after 1945, like everyone was. I mean, the Nuremberg trials,
right?
Like after that was like.
But that's World War II.
World War II, yeah.
So what my question is, and again, I'm bad at history. I'm just ignorant. Is after World War One, was Germany allowed to have a military?
So if I'm not mistaken, it was kind of like a schism between military and politics at the time. So it was a period of instability for Germany.
Yeah.
Which is a perfect time for a leader to pick up,
right.
You know, where everything's left off. Like everyone is desperate for leadership. Everyone, you know, reconstruction, jobs are not in, people are not holding jobs. And there was that schism, but then what brought it back together was that
charismatic dictator.
Basically the best they could have got.
Right. So my thing is like, did these generals, and I'm sure each general can very clearly be tracked to like where they came from.
Yeah.
But did these generals, because a general in the military has been in for 30 years plus, like, I don't think there's really any generals that haven't been in for 30 plus years. Like the career of an officer's so much longer than enlisted.
Right.
Like, did they just, you've been in the regular German military for whatever. Do you want to come over and be a Nazi or we kill you?
Kind of had no choice.
Yeah, you kind of had no choice. Yeah. So you have this 35-year-old general, or do you just have this political figure? And I'm pretty sure this is as well with the Nazis. Just like, all right, now you're an SS whatever colonel in my military, which would be like a 35-year position in any other military. Yeah, I don't know that though.
So yeah, with that was basically anyone that was left over. And like from the original, like not Tufelhunden, but that was, but like around that time, like World War I, anyone who was left over from that war, they kind of just gave him the SS. Yeah, and it wasn't even just SS, but it was like the Luftwaffe, which was the Air Force, and then I mean, there's different ways to say it, but like the Wehrmacht, which is like the army, like I suppose it's work machine. And then that's where it really came from, was basically that this war machine that they had leftover parts and they just like upgraded them. Yeah. Like, hey, now you're a Nazi. This is the war we're preparing to fight.
Yeah. So I guess to put it loosely, be like, okay, you've been recon for so many generations in a time of war or not, like Desert Storm, time of peace, then Afghanistan. We're starting MARSOC. You'd be a perfect fit. You want to come over? Yeah. Kind of like that? Or just like you're still in the army, like, here's an SS badge.
I mean, a bit of both. I mean, it would be the way that they really did it was you're in, like, let's say, like to compare it, let's say like MARSOC is starting up, like the SS is starting up, Nazi Germany's becoming prevalent. Now you were let's say staff sergeant. Now you're a staff sergeant. You're a Nazi.
Yeah.
Like, this is the power we're giving you, and now you can basically do whatever you want.
Yeah.
You have shock troops under you. So it's
German
basically
shock troops.
German shock troops. So then
the Daily Stormer, you know.
So with that, I mean, first of all, they were horrible people. I mean, to not talk about them too much in a highlight, but most of them were kind of just like, well, what Nazis?
I would say twofold, right?
Yeah.
So it's
always twofold, you know.
Yeah, I don't think everything's. You have the special assholes that were conducting experiments on the internment camps. You had the guards of the internment camps, and I think some are documented like, I was just doing my job, you know, in some horrible German accent.
Right.
And I think we definitely have that in our country and other countries. Just like, you know, it's pretty shitty when prison guard unions lobby to keep marijuana illegal so they can keep the rooms stocked in their prison. It's pretty fucked up.
Right, yeah.
But, you know, and then you have people like, oh, my great-grandfather was a guard in this prison. Right. And you're like, yeah. And then you have some fucking German dude just like, I don't know why I'm here, but I press button and I don't die. He, you know, gasses a bunch of people. And then you have the head scientist of all these fucked up experiments. In like, what is it?
It was Joseph Mengele.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, Mengele was he was in charge of that operation.
Well, what I'm saying is like, what is it? Not a real thing, but like in Fury with Brad Pitt. They're fighting the Germans, and then an SS gets walked through, and he like freaks out. He's like, "That's the real asshole." Not the common soldier that's just basically recruited or had to go through the draft. And it's just like, I was born in Germany in this time period. I get killed or sent to a camp, or I fight with a rifle.
Right, yeah.
And then you have like the dude that's super proud, the SS dude, the guy that really tried hard and really believes in all the Nazi bullshit. So I think it's I don't know.
It is. I mean, it is twofold. The Nazi, like the higher up, like SS. We're talking about like straight from Hitler's mouth. Like those guys, the common soldier were just fighting a proxy war for him. Like they were kind of just picked up and being like, all right, like you're gonna.
I just learned what proxy war meant.
Yeah.
Like because of this whole fucking shit going on right now.
Well, I mean, I think what's going on right now is absolute bullshit.
It's bullshit, but okay, remember were we finished on the subject? Sorry.
Yeah, Nazis, interesting people. Nowadays that would never get it passed. That wouldn't happen anymore. I think most things that happen in World War II and not because like treaties and conventions, it's because people are starting to think like, hey, like this isn't right to do.
Yeah.
So people are starting to be more cognizant of like, hey, like what is right and what is wrong. And then you have, this is a good segue. Now we have these proxy wars.
Right. But I would say, I don't know if it would never happen because you still have like persecution of Christians, persecution of Muslims, like genocides of both of them in these different countries.
Yeah.
Now it's not necessarily the three
to the same
super
magnitude
groups of America, China, Russia. Well, I think the persecution of the Muslims was China.
They had a province in there that started the persecution.
It was like the Uyghurs.
It's one of those.
The Uyghur,
not Uyghurs, but
right. But it was easy. It's what is it called when you match silly words with things? The Uyghur Muslims got persecuted like not long ago, and I remember my Jewish friend was like, "This is fucked up." I was like, "Dude, what do you care? You're Jewish." He's like, "I believe in the right to like people to practice all religions so long as it doesn't affect me." And that for me, I was like, because I fought the Muslim war in Afghanistan.
Yeah, all of GWAT was.
Yeah, and like for a Jewish person who typically those two religions don't get along together to say that. I was like,
Yeah.
oh. And then I saw, I think it was somewhere, either it was a group of Christians like doing an arm barricade around a group of Muslims like praying in a place they were being persecuted, or maybe vice versa, where it's like Muslims like
I've seen
protecting Christians, and it's like, oh, that's pretty beautiful. I don't know. People are good and people are evil, all in the same. So when you say like, I don't think that could happen.
To that magnitude, no. I don't think
the persecution of someone to that magnitude,
like,
or just the military being that
like, well, both. I mean, now the military side, anything's possible.
Yeah.
I mean, that's power. That's the most strongest thing.
And just like dictatorship.
Right. I mean, you can't stop someone to do that if you have, cronies and people who are bowing down to him. But I mean more like concentration camps.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Like Nazi Germany magnitude. I don't think that would be possible.
I don't want to put my tinfoil hat on, but like in other countries, if you're not vaccinated, or if you're just in a country that is like COVID's a big deal, like Australia, I don't keep up.
They're not burning them though.
They're not burning them, but they were arresting people.
Yeah,
like making sure they were in their house. You're not in your house. Like you're walking on the street, they arrest you. And then my wife's mother in Czech Republic, this was the height of it. I don't think it's like this now, but like you couldn't walk a certain feet past your house to take your dog for a piss or shit.
Right.
If you did, then it was like, so it was getting a little scary.
And like the curfews that they had.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
Did you have pieces of paper signed from your command at your before here? They would give me every so often like a piece of paper. I'm like, what is this? And it's like your permission to be on the streets.
Page 13s and stuff. Yeah.
Because you're military and you work in the ER. So in case you get stopped coming to work, I'm like, what?
For that reason, no. I don't think we got that far. It was kind of page 13 saying like, I understand I'm not supposed to be in, public settings without a mask. All these things, but not to that extent.
Didn't get that.
I think that's because you're working the ER, and maybe from like your leadership, they're like, we
were 35 minutes away from DC, and we also had riots.
That too. Yeah.
I mean, not where in my neighborhood, but it was 35 minutes away. I got pretty nervous. I dusted off my shotgun. Not even joking.
It got crazy. Because in Portsmouth, where I was, there was a huge riot.
Yeah.
And I suppose this was June 2020. So this was just when COVID stopped becoming really a thing. People just got sick and tired of it, at least in like Hampton Roads area. And there was a huge riot, I suppose, during the George Floyd riots too. And it was kind of both. People were already frustrated that they had to be inside basically all of spring. And there was a huge riot, and they had a Confederate statue. I don't know which figure it was, but they started tipping it over, and it landed on a woman.
Oh,
and crushed her.
That's no bueno.
And they're like, COVID. Time to pop the COVID card again.
I used to, and this is where like kind of listen to podcasts and like straight from Joe Rogan. I used to feel, being from the South, I'm like, that's kind of bullshit. They're like pulling these statues down. And then from what he said, I got a little bit more educated. A lot of these statues were put up during segregation or desegregation as like a fucking middle finger.
Oh, well, from in the South, yeah.
In the South. It's like, we're all going to go to school together. Well, here's, General Lee.
Just in case you forgot.
Yeah, it very much so. Yeah. Like, you forgot?
Oh, that's fine.
And
go to school together. Here's a big statue.
Here's a big white general from the Civil War.
Yeah, if you
at your school, you're allowed to go to.
Right.
You don't have to hold that.
I feel safe.
You feel comfortable?
Yeah, I feel safe for this bad boy. Locked and loaded.
Just great. We just got taken off there.
Yeah, and see, orange tip.
Yeah.
Magazine doesn't pop out. Orange tip, don't shoot me when I'm trick-or-treating.
I love restoration videos, like especially ones that like go pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Just kind of like mind-numbing.
Restoration for what? Like
almost anything.
Not like just furniture?
Furniture's a little boring, but I have watched it because it's like, oh, it turns out everything that looks like wood isn't real wood. It's just all like skimmed.
Or cake.
Cake.
You ever see it as a cake? Just be like...
It's pretty upsetting when it's like a hand and then they cut it.
Yeah.
And it's like pretty accurate to what's inside
Mm-hmm.
the human. It's like there's a bone.
It's like, awesome. Okay, we're not going to eat that. That's disgusting.
Great, I have nightmares now from cake.
That's fine.
But this guy restored an Uzi.
Really?
And then when he was finishing up, he put his little touches and he made like the trigger and the muzzle device orange.
Yeah.
And people are commenting like, hey, where are you from? Because toys in America have orange tips in, like everything.
Right, yeah.
And he's like, oh, I'm from this country and we do red, so orange isn't a thing. It's like, hey, how about you just paint it black, dude?
Yeah, why don't you just
paint it black?
Like, it doesn't look cool. It looks like a toy now.
So anyway, I'm painting my AR yellow with orange.
I mean, I think it would be a good like gag. It'd be like, oh, like it's orange tip, and then it shoots 300 blackout.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It gets into like a bit of a cringy thing when you do see pistols that are custom made, custom painted to look like toys.
Absolutely cringe. That's why I would want to paint my
it's just like,
muzzle.
Dude, what
orange.
do you?
Yeah. And then like you see like the comments, you'd be like, "That's hysterical, man! Orange tip, that's so funny." It's like, okay,
yeah. Well,
I brought it trick or treating. Yeah, still brought it trick or treating. I was a military guy.
Yeah,
bringing my
dude, I did that when I was
my milled out weapon.
When I was pretty young, I just like put on a pair of my brother's fatigues and like size 12 boots. Yeah, just like flopped around the neighborhood.
Wait, what was the age difference between you and your brother?
My brother, 8 years. Yeah, I was probably like, I think he went in when he was 21, so I was probably, I don't know, 14.
Yeah,
just flopping around the neighborhood, just huge blisters on my heels.
Yeah, yeah.
And
they're like, "Hey, you look like shit."
Yeah, like, what are you? I'm like, I'm military. Like, literally, like, I'm military guy.
Like, okay,
like, all right. Aren't you a little old? I'm like, I don't know.
Am I? Yeah, yes, I am. I have no friends.
I think I went because one of my soccer buddies, who believed in Santa,
14 years old.
Yeah, still like got upset when we were coming from, because we used to carpool. Got upset because I grew up in a very Christian household. So like
in Louisiana,
what
Christian household in Louisiana?
Oh, you're being facetious.
I am.
Yeah, but he was Catholic. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but just got upset at like age 14 when we were coming home from soccer, and his mom was like, "What do you? I know you got upset last year when your aunt gave you a Santa present with just money in an envelope. So what do you want this year? What do you think Santa should get you this year?" I was just like, "Miss Debbie, Santa's not real." And she's like, "No, Santa's real." He's like, "Yeah, Santa's real." I'm like, "Dude, we're 14, bro. What?" Yeah.
Come on.
Hey.
Jeez, man. He's like, "Anyway, Santa's real. You want to go play with action figures in the backyard?"
You want to touch my dick?
Anyway, you want to go experiment in my bedroom?
I don't like this house.
This is weird. I don't like this household. Smells like mothballs. Yeah. Smells like church in here. Why?
When Mom gets mad, she puts cigarettes out on my skin.
Can't even tell you what my dad does.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right. We'll take a couple steps back.
Okay.
So the other day I texted y'all like, "Don't watch this Sean Ryan episode."
Oh yeah.
And I know I have some questions for you about Sean Ryan.
Okay.
But so it was the normal spy guy, the long hair.
The normal spy guy?
Yeah. Do you know anything about him? He hasn't been on Joe Rogan, but he's been on a couple different.
So he's not that big.
The podcast guy? I mean, the
spy guy?
He's a CIA operative or former.
Yeah.
And I'll take this from Joe Rogan. Former.
Like,
yeah, okay.
No. Proxy war.
Yeah, so he was talking in the very beginning. I'm just like on my ride home. And I know this, dude, and I still do it anyway. Like, man, there's no good episodes of anything. And I'm avoiding certain episodes of stuff because it's going to bum me out. Yeah. And I'm going to, like, go hide under my couch or, like, start start stealing MREs across base to like hide them in my attic or something.
Right.
And he's talking about like my contingency plan as a CIA agent. My contingency plan when we lose World War III is to be a dual citizen, because an American passport will either not be as valuable as Chinese or Russian. And he doesn't really talk about the Russian. It's like, it won't be as valuable as Chinese. The denomination of America, which is backed by oil, won't be US dollar. And he's like, so having another passport to blend in will be best. And like, me and my wife are working on it. And now I'm just like,
Sounds pretty paranoid.
Pretty paranoid, but
yeah.
And I'll go back to another Joe Rogan episode about why I kind of don't think this is going to happen. But then he explains the whole Ukraine-Russian war. He explains what proxy war is, where a proxy war is someone backing troops that aren't our troops to fight a war on our behest. You know, on our betterment if they win. And then if we lose, it's just like, we lost money. We didn't lose ground.
Yeah.
We don't lose any ground.
Lose anything, really. Yeah.
And he said the reason why it's getting funded is because the economy's shit since COVID. The current office, and I'll try and stay apolitical here, the current office fucking destroyed the economy. It's in the dumps. We're in a recession. We pushed Ukraine basically into antagonizing Russia to invade. We keep throwing money at them to waste Russian resources. So the longer Russia's in a war with Ukraine, they're just depleting themselves, and they'll be less of an opponent for us, or less threatening to America.
Yeah.
Funding the war machine means better economy. That was basically the Iraqi war. Was Bush just like Cheney, just like stoking all the engines of all of his companies. I forget which one he owns. Halliburton, yeah. Just went up like 500%. Just insane.
It's good.
And so
good move.
They're stroking the war machine, getting the economy going, creating dollars, and they're also moving all of our war resources closer to the border to Russia and China. By building bases, by getting our vehicles, ammunition, guns, and troops there, and building up that area. And I was like, oh, that makes a lot more sense why this is happening.
The theory.
I think that's a pretty solid theory.
I don't think that we're able to build any real military installations there just yet, but maybe in the future.
There's already one being built in Poland.
In Poland,
because
but like on that border, that like invisible wall. I don't know what they're trying to do there. I know that they're still fighting for territory out there, which, you know, everything I feel like is media driven, but apparently they're making huge advances. And
who is
Ukrainian forces?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, but apparently they're deterring. They're able to.
What media source though? I know that's
most of them.
Most
mainstream and insider.
Okay.
Like I know like Instagram, they have a lot of insider news that like are coming.
That's a big another hot button topic is like there's a lot of things not being published about the opposite, about Russians doing well. We're only getting information about Ukraine. Yeah, Ukraine.
But then you think about both militaries. One military is protecting their territory. Okay.
Yeah.
Not to be political. I don't think that. I think war is horrible. You know. But
profitable.
Profitable, sure.
Raytheon up 10 points.
Raytheon, Lockheed Martin.
That was another thing that he said, and I instantly, this regular spy guy.
Yeah.
He's like, you're gonna see these top military. And he like named off a few, and then like a week later, I'm on the phone with my brother-in-law. Like, maybe it's unethical, but can we look into these war companies? I mean, and he was just like, yeah, we can.
If there's a war, there's money to be made. But then you have, people who are literally just said, told you're going to fight. You're fighting in a war.
Right.
In Russia.
Yeah, it's like old school World War II. I think my grandpa did 2 weeks of Navy boot camp.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's like, yeah, you're
2 weeks, bro.
You're out the door.
Yeah.
You were gone.
As long as it takes to get the name tapes put on your uniform.
Yeah. As
Yes.
soon as your blouse is
Yeah.
that last stitch, you're gonna be in the Pacific.
Yeah.
But then, not even a volunteer army. If in theoretically, if let's say, or hypothetically, if one army is getting their ass kicked, or military is getting their ass kicked on a front line, and it's because they don't even want to fight that war against Ukrainians who are fighting for their country, then I believe that. It's like, okay, like, yeah, no shit, because one dude is 19 years old, all he knows is vodka and hockey, and now he's getting killed because one guy has been fighting this war for, almost a year and a half now. I don't really give a shit. I think that they should just fucking stop over there. Like, I think the Russians should pull out. But like I said, not to be political, like, I just think that the days of war are like pretty much over.
Should be.
I think
they should be.
Yeah.
Like, it's silly that we still, and like, this is an FMF question. It's like, what is war? And it's like, when you can't achieve negotiations or political goals, you pull out your gun. It's like,
it's like street justice.
Yeah, it's the same thing at, when you're in a parking lot and you're yelling at some dude because he took your spot, and it's like, well, how far does this thing go?
Until we pull our
until you
guns out.
Fist fight, and then one dude has a knife and the other dude has a gun. It's like, it's just on a grand scale, and extremely more complex, like multi-layered political bullshit.
Right.
Proxy war.
Proxy wars.
Dude, when I was going to I was trying to research what was going on. Dude, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And
well, what did you come up with?
Oh, I don't know
if it's not for tape, if it's not to be recorded, then
I can just go black screen and like.
I think I know exactly what you're talking about, and
let's just put there was a line of demarcation. I believe that's the right word, where it was a Cold War.
Yeah.
And we had flyovers by a certain entity, and we were there as a security force.
Yeah.
But it's like all the different proxies put up by different countries when it's like the weren't really fighting. It was the that were fighting, and like all this different. And it's like, we're actually allies with them, but they're backing the wrong guy over here, but we still have to keep it here. And it was just, dude, I was just on YouTube. I just gave up. I'm like, I don't know. I'm going to for some reason. No idea, bro.
Yeah. It makes no sense, because I feel like that's just an easy way to make a region just messy. It's like you have you were entering that theater and you have no idea why you're there or what you're going to do. I mean, that's an issue for anyone who's going to just be entering it.
Dude,
I don't know what I'm doing here. Like, are we fighting or are we not fighting?
That was my first time in Afghan.
Yeah.
I was pretty clueless, and you kind of want to stay that way, honestly, until, after I got to Afghan, and I'm like, we're still ripping, replacing patrol.
Yeah.
I'm like working out, listening to Rage Against the Machine and like System of a Down.
Yeah.
It's like all anti-war propaganda. Yeah. And I'm just like, dude, I can't listen to this shit while I'm here.
No. Yeah.
And then I'm like thinking like, why are we here? Why am I in Afghanistan after 9/11?
Yeah.
After, what was it? I was there after 11 years from 9/11, I'm in Afghanistan fighting and we're burning down poppy fields, but only a certain percentage that we can get to when a general drives by. He wants to see that poppy field burned. I was just so confused why we were in some other country way far away from us. Yeah. And I bet there's someone, maybe you can talk about it, and I have my feelings and my ideas about it.
Yeah.
That might be right or wrong, but it was this, dude, as a 22-year-old, just like...
Yeah, you have no idea.
I know I'm going to get the opportunity to kill somebody, but, like, I don't think that's why we're all here.
Right.
I don't think that's why fucking General, whatever his name, has us here, but, like...
Yeah. I think what happened was, like any real war, prolonged war, it's not going to just be frontline. It's going to be economic. It's going to be cultural. I'm sure that you guys, maybe your officers, your maybe platoon commander, if you guys ever met in like mud huts with them,
Yeah. No, I can tell you why I think we were there as our job. I know what we were told, and then like kind of what I think is happening behind the curtain, and then like what our real job was. Like we were there to do bats and hides, so basically identify the population.
Yeah.
And if we ever catch a dude doing bad, we can mark them.
Yeah.
With their handprints and eyeballs. We were there to stop drugs.
Right. DEA missions, those.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't fully on a DEA mission,
Supporting
but like we would find caches of opium.
Yeah.
We were there to stop weapons.
Trafficking.
And we were there to stop IEDs, which if we weren't there, why would we need to? And then like the last time we were there, you know, recently, the evacuation, I was just like, why is every single fucking special forces from every fucking country in the world here?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, yeah, the cobalt and lithium mines. It's rich in resources.
Yeah.
So I think it's a couple different, and this might be stupid, but it's all these natural resources that everybody's trying to get in and get for their country's, you know, economy just to bloom, to have a stockpile of it or not, to use it or not, or have a stockpile. And then what is it, like 96% of all the opium in the world comes out of the Helmand Valley?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, if regular opium is not on the market, then synthetic oxys and all that, it's like, wait, so am I fighting a pharmaceutical war? Am I fighting a war to get like Teslas made? Like what the fuck?
Yeah,
because that's what you need to make those batteries, and it's
it became less of you know, like 2009, I believe, was like the Corn Goal. That's when like it was like the most dangerous place in the world.
Yeah.
Kandahar and like Helmand, you know, with like the. But after that, I feel like we started policing.
Yeah.
It was more of a police job, helping agencies get what they need.
So as 17 Baker Company, our job wasn't necessarily to create the police force, but Animal Company drew resources from all the other companies and were there. They didn't go, my buddies didn't go on too many patrols. They ran boot camps for the locals and the police to teach them how to. And then someone pointed out, like, right when the Taliban took over Afghanistan, like they have one dude sitting on a chair wherever, and then one dude trigger discipline, finger straight and off the trigger. It's like, where do you think that guy got that from? Us.
Maybe YouTube.
Yeah.
But
he just wants to be the best rifleman out there as a Taliban, you know? He wants to make sure all his comrades are safe.
Yeah, he's out there field, you know.
That's why when they're looking for each other in the field, they shoot their AK in the air as a radio signal. They just want to make sure everybody's safe.
It's communication.
Yeah.
It's key. But well, I mean, with that, I was thinking when I was in Afghanistan, the Taliban that, you know, on the Connex boxes, I'm like, those guys definitely have American blood on them already. Like one of those guys, like you could see him. You're just like, this guy killed Americans. Like,
oh, wait, what Connex box? The one where they were killing people behind?
Yeah, the kill box.
I didn't know about that till after, and that just like made my heart sad, dude.
Oh, dude, I was bringing them to the boxes, and they're like, okay, yeah, we bring him back in the city, and then they told me to wait. They're like, wait, we need to look at the documents too, and just popped them in the head. I'm like, huh?
That's like that close to you?
It was I let them go, and then there was a few times that when I was walking back, I made buddies with one of the Brits.
One of the Taliban.
No, yeah, we were cool.
Super good guy. He just kept shooting all the kids though.
He didn't really like my friends that I brought.
Yeah.
But me and one of the Brits, we were talking, and they just, everyone that we were pushing away, saying like, yeah, you can't. We would bring them out, and even at the Vegas gate, they were like there was like a chain link fence, like no discretion at all, just like there, like executions.
Yeah,
we're just like, this is going south.
Yeah, I had a Marine like pull me aside, and he's just telling me like, dude, do you know about? I'm like, nah, dude, not really. I was a little bit further back.
Doing your job.
Yeah, doing my job.
Yeah.
I was my platoon wasn't walking people. We weren't a line company.
Right,
you know,
yeah.
I wasn't charge of, we would walk them up, but we would get them to a certain point. Like I never went on other side of the gate.
Probably hand them off to my guys.
Yeah, usually. And he was just telling me about like the Connex box where like he escorted. Man, it's making me like, because I got 2 little kids.
Mm-hmm.
It's making me upset, but like they would walk them. They're like, mommy, whatever. And they're like, no, it's okay. It's okay. And he's just like tearing up as he does it for the whatever time.
Yeah, like 100th fucking
And then
time.
they just walk. And he said they weren't using
suppressors.
No, they're using clubs.
Oh, yeah. I didn't see that, but I think
I could have that detail wrong. I'm not going to say anybody's name or anything like that, but it's just like,
well, clubs and like anything like blunt objects. Yeah. I've heard a couple things about that, but it wasn't even just like I guess to stay on topic, but like it wasn't even just like the 26 that really got to me. It was the whole thing. It was just like,
yeah, dude. Well, have I told you about when I basically started crying? Like,
yeah, no.
No. So
I'm gonna grab something.
Go ahead, man. Yeah. It's all for us. So we had some time. We were actually looking for a mission because we were waiting for those have 200 milligrams of caffeine. I don't know what Red Bull has, but I like that because of how much.
Something is off. I don't think my mic is on.
I can hear your mic.
Can you really?
Yeah.
Maybe my headset pulled out.
Yeah, just if it goes to where the color is. That's why I color coded everything. We'll take a tactical pause. I'm always so sketched
Wait,
out.
now I think I'm back. Yeah, I'm back.
I'm still sketched out that every single time I think it's like this.
Yeah.
Let me see if my hair's done.
Check.
No, dude, it always sounds weird. Yeah, my kids get in here. I don't know if they break shit or not, but they definitely kind of fuck shit.
Probably pee on stuff. Like dogs.
Yeah, they're complete savages.
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
I'm talking about
My job.
Yeah.
So we were held back because they were just kind of getting a scope of the situation. And we were told as weapons company, we were going to be in vehicles on the other side of the fence, like on the tarmac with like guns facing the fence.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was
and
that
like
was
we were
going to
be like shitting and pissing in bags, and like we're not going to be able to. We're always going to be on those vehicles,
right,
as like a react unit and like just a physical hard security point of the fence. Wasn't that at all? Yeah. And so like when Cat Red goes out, we think that's what they're doing. And then we walk across the tarmac with all of our gear, like a pretty quick sprint, and just like fat Doc back here, like, yeah. And we get out there, and they're way back. Like all the line companies are feeding them, and then they're like kind of the final processing before they either get on like a little shanty bus or whatever and get them pulled back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know exactly where I'm going with this, but
just the different jobs.
Yeah. Oh, so we have a few days. And me being the person I am, former infantryman, like my sergeants knew I'm not a retard.
Right.
Like, hey, Doc, come with us. And be like 4 sergeants and me, like trying to boost cars.
Yeah.
Like directed by our fucking higher up. Like, we need vehicles. And we're like trying to boost vehicles in the middle of the day. Yeah, and we run into our top, and he's just like, hey, we got all these keys. And like, I think we're in trouble every second.
Yeah.
He's like, I got all these keys. Where I checked all these. I'm just like, dude, this is so weird. And then we walk by like some cafe and like a tailor shop, and it's all like broken in. And I walk in, there's just like patches everywhere. And I grab like the little medic crosses.
Oh yeah, it was so weird how everything that we needed was there, and it was so easily accessible.
Well, it's kind of like
cigarettes. Go in there.
Yeah.
We have cigarettes in there. We need trucks. Go on this street right here, and you have truck.
Yeah, well, it's a little bit like, I wouldn't say necessarily the spoils of war, but like a little bit of it. When you go on the 31st MEU, or you go on SP MACTAF, and you're in PSAB, you're in here, you're there, and like the price of a 50-inch TV is $100 because the guy's got to fucking skip out tomorrow.
Yeah.
And here's this, here's that. Do $20 for like whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just these things that's been purchased that you can't take back. a $600,000 Land Cruiser, armored Land Cruiser that I would probably give my pinky toe for, but you just can't get it back to the U.S.
Right.
And it's all these different things like.
Well, was it like American owned? Because
What?
when they came
Those
up with
vehicles?
when they came up with keys, like where did they get those keys?
So we got a bunch of shit from a contractor that used to be Cat Blue or Weapons Company.
Yeah.
That when we showed up, he recognized. He's like, "Oh, 2-1s here. I wonder if I know those dudes." And like came and found us. He's like, "Hey, I'm leaving tomorrow. I have stuff in my room." And so one of the dudes goes in his room, finds like huge chest full of like shitty like NATO Kevlar and all this different medical gear, and like most of it was garbage. Like the SPO2s didn't work. Like they give me like terrible readings, or I was dying, and like just a fucking ring of keys and like vehicle keys. Damn. And this dude had been a little, resourceful while he was there, and he got on a plane and gave us the key to his room.
Good luck.
And we had one vehicle that the key worked to, and they had like moved it, and the guy I guess like saw him move it, and then like re-stole the vehicle back because they're like, "Hey, there's a 4Runner, not a Land Cruiser, like an older 4Runner that works right here in front of this coffee shop." And we're like, "Oh, sick!" And like I have the key. I'm like looking around. And they're like, "No, that's not it. It was a lot like that one, but they must have left. We had it open earlier."
Yeah.
Yeah. And then found like documents and shit, like some probably dude's like, "Oh, this isn't classified enough." And just found like documents, like whatever, fuck it. But
yeah. I mean, we went searching for documents too, but
as a mission, to like destroy sensitive documentation.
Yeah, we're trying to retrieve some intel at the end of the mission, at the end of the operation. We didn't find shit, but we were also told to just destroy the whole base.
Yeah, they got mad a little bit at me at first because, like, dude, I see the writing on the wall. First of all, like, our guys just got blown up. We get pulled back, and they're like, "Hey, go," and like, so I'm just like, I find a bat or something, and like whack a laptop screen or something, or like a monitor, not a laptop. And they're like, "Duh, come on." I'm like, "Dude, are y'all serious?" And then like 15 minutes later, the CO and first sergeant is just like doing the same thing.
Yeah,
it's
destroy
like,
everything.
The shit's over, man. Like anything we leave here just goes in the hand of the enemy.
Right.
So whether it's a monitor or a coffee mug, like fuck them. And like literally people are writing like fuck the Taliban, which I have my opinion on too.
Why you don't think?
No, we had a senior guy pull all the sergeants in, and I got pulled into the. Maybe I wasn't in the group, but just like when that was going on, like, the guys that died would not have wanted this. It's like bitch, fucking talk for yourself, dude. Don't talk for a dead guy.
That's pretty fucked.
Yeah,
you're like, dude, you didn't even know them.
You didn't know them, and also like you're gonna tell me if I die that I don't want you to write fuck who killed me on the wall.
No, I know. It's like,
no, yes, please on video, yes. Unless it's cancer, like if someone kills me, right? Fuck that person.
Yeah,
with a penis underneath it, and then jizzing, and you are gay.
Yeah, you like this.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a lot of mixed feelings, and I feel like a lot of people had unpopular opinions. I heard here and there. I'm just like, okay, let's go home. Like, this is over with.
Yeah,
this thing is pissing me off.
So it might be the silver part.
The silver part. What does the silver part do?
It's gonna do the back and forthness. What are you trying to accomplish
in life?
No, with the microphone.
I just wanted to stay like.
Okay.
Wait, no, I got it. I'm gonna
you wanna get this guy too.
Should have done this before. Let's see if this works.
There you go. Yeah, a little change of subject. I don't think I've ever told y'all this, but I did a podcast with one of my buddies, and we didn't like it, so I just never put it up.
No way, really?
So if this was like the other guy,
Yeah.
and you and me, and like we just wind up saying a bunch of shit we didn't like or whatever. Like I just won't put it up. If y'all, simple as that. It's in the mission statement on the channel.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like we've been doing fine.
No, we're doing fine, but that's
Oh.
there was a bit of controversy before we started this episode,
Yeah.
and it's very. I know. Well, first of all, I kind of didn't want you to come because I felt like I'm manipulating. God damn it, you in the microphone. I felt like basically at this point I'm like manipulating you to come.
No, you can't manipulate me.
Good. And then your headphones are on backwards. But yeah, dude. It's all right.
How did you know?
So I put the color coded.
Oh yeah, the little
They face the back.
Ukrainian stripe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I
Ukrainian.
don't have the Ukrainian colors. Red's not in it. Right?
No, I don't fucking know.
All right, good. Yeah, but I don't get to see you guys. And so like when I'm trying to explain over text like, "Hi, hey, this is a little bit frustrating." And you're like, "Ah, Blake, you're just a whatever. You're just dependent."
Yeah.
I'm like,
Codependent?
yeah, codependent.
codependent.
I'm like, yeah, no. It's
No,
just,
no, I
Told,
mean-
told my wife to take the kids out for 3 hours.
Yeah, yeah.
And
bring them for a walk.
had to charge the cameras.
Well, I don't know. I feel like
Don't look back there.
no, I won't. I'm glad the cameras aren't facing that way. It's a couple of bodies.
No, dude, I had mess night. That's why I drank. I hadn't drank in
Oh.
90 days.
90 days.
90 days. And then,
Let's see. I'm probably there too.
well, I know this because January 1st, I made a very conscious thing. Like, I'm not going to drink anymore. I'm going to fucking get on TRT, quit drinking. And then a few weeks later, I got off Zen. And I'll do one every once in a while and just really feel bad. Like, I have a fever.
Really?
Yeah.
I think you're just getting old.
Oh, no, yeah. So I had
Like
to get
real-
off TRT because I have some CRP level, which is like a cardiac stressor that they can see in my
yeah.
blood. And they're like, yeah, it's a direct correlation with your testosterone being high. And now I have to leave a private entity of, legit doctors because they're like, can you get our cardiologist to approve you? I'm like, well,
So you're dying, man.
if I get a cardiologist, it means I have to bring them in on the whole TRT thing, which might as well get them to approve TRT. And so we're working on getting all of my medical files from the private doctor's office to the whatever's office. Are they 3?
There's
Nah, dude,
6.
they would make. I would.
Fever time.
Yeah. Anyway,
That was a magic trick. This was in my car, and then I pulled the magic trick.
nice.
You know what? I always thought about that. Imagine like magic, right?
Mhm.
And by accident you like do a magic trick, right? And now I'm like taking my hat off, and like there's a rabbit in the hat.
You're bald now.
I'm bald,
Yeah.
yeah. But like you do a magic trick by accident.
Yeah.
You're just like doing or you don't know magic, and you're like doing something, but in that order, right? Like the order of precedence, you did exactly the way that a magic trick has to be executed.
Yeah.
And then now there's like a rabbit in there,
Yeah.
and you're like,
Do you think that's how magic became about? Like someone accidentally deceived someone? You're like, oh, I didn't know you had a coffee this whole time. And they're like,
yeah.
yeah, it was a joke.
Oh,
And then they're like, I'm going to do this shit more often.
I got to write this down
I
in
gotta
Sanskrit.
write this- Yeah.
So it was back in Mesopotamia when it's like, oh, you have one of the at the time currency penny in the back of your ear.
Yeah.
Like, oh, and then now I have to go. I have to hold on to this. I can't let you have it
You can't, yeah. You
Because
have
I
to
don't
go
have-
spend that at the whatever at the time.
The magic
drink
store.
machine.
at the drink machine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you put it in.
Yeah,
you,
yep.
you hit the stone.
the good
and
right.
then like the machine has to think for a second, tumbles down,
Right.
like
You hear like the
whatever at the time is a cold nitro brew.
cold nitro brew back in the
Whatever
day.
the time.
Yeah. They probably didn't have nitro. It was probably just a brew at that time.
Yeah, dude.
Still Starbucks, but not.
Yeah. Starbucks is millennia old, dude.
You know, it's one of those monopolies.
Well, you can't. Have I explained this? You can't own a Starbucks.
It has to be through the
The
company.
highest you can be is like a manager, like a company, whatever.
Or you can't own it.
You can like be
yourself.
high in the You can't be. All Starbucks are owned by Starbucks. You can't franchise.
So how about Dunkin' Donuts?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't look into that, but I wanted to make that place, the Schlotzky's down the road, a coffee spot.
Schlotsky's?
Yeah, the one that's closed by the Exchange.
Oh,
right by my house.
Yeah. You wanted to buy that?
I don't
And then
think
you're like, I also don't have $1.4 million.
okay, I think it would be a rental kind of deal.
Yeah.
And oh yeah, I'm going to Italy, so
Sigonella?
probably won't. Yeah,
So
probably won't be able to open a coffee shop down the street.
yeah, you can do that.
Just pop in.
Just make it when you now you have that branding right to be like, oh, this is Italian roast coffee.
Oh.
And then they're like, you're from Louisiana. It's like, yeah,
Oh, oui.
oui. But now look, and then you just show them the orders and be like, see, I'm in Italy.
Yeah.
And that's how you make money.
Dude, that's how
You just
all about branding.
See, that's a magic trick, deceiving people.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm from Louisiana, but this is my Italian roast because my orders say I'm Sigonella.
Dude, I went to the farmer's market a week ago.
I love farmers markets.
And I got a jambalaya.
Which
Dana Point.
Dana Point.
You ever been there?
I have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I got a jambalaya from Louisiana. The dude's resume checked out. They're like, Covington, Mandeville. I'm like, all right, well, you wouldn't know what that place is if you weren't from there. That's
true.
where I'm from.
Right.
And so I got it, and I ate it Friday night and just woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning, just shit my brains out.
I knew you were going to say
Just
that.
like the spices. And then
the red ring.
yesterday, the red ring of death. And then yesterday, I have like some yogurt in the morning, and then we go get Chick-fil-A with the kids. And as soon as I finished my meal, I was just like, oh. And like went home and took a nap for like 4 hours.
Your stomach feels like a hurricane.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Fetal position on the couch.
Wasn't doing well, dude. I think I'm just getting old. I can't handle spice, dude.
That's what I'm saying. You're getting old. And
kill me.
These things are problematic.
They're not problematic, dude.
Not both of us having problems.
I'm a fiddler, dude.
I fiddle too.
Some are diddlers, some are fiddlers, you know?
I like to dabble.
I like to dabble.
Dabble?
Do you have projects?
I used to, for a small amount of time. I would probably say like 2 weeks I was doing model cars.
Okay, that's insane to me, but sure.
Why?
That seems so deliberate.
It's very meticulous.
Is that fun?
I stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
I'm putting a little engine together, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck a carburetor.
Fuck!
Yeah. I'm like, my hands are not meant for that shit. So I'm like, with fucking tweezers, like putting like a carburetor in like fucking fuel intake, and then it falls apart because the glue's not strong enough. Threw it across the room, broke the window.
Really?
No.
Oh.
No.
I definitely remember seeing something on YouTube and then trying to do it myself and just my hand shaking and not having the dexterity to do it. Just like
because you haven't drank in a while, so you're fucking shaking and shit.
You put in 12 more zins and
with a tweezer.
Yeah, dude, I forget what it was, but I was just like, dude, why is this so hard? It seems so simple.
I think we're just going in circles about how you're old.
Okay, that's fine.
It's like, my testosterone's low. I'm doing projects and my hands are shaking.
I've always liked little projects, dude.
Yeah.
Like that Deadpool right there. He's not supposed to have that head on, and that was a whole fucking rabbit hole. Fucking.
Can I touch it?
Yeah, you can pick it up gently.
Or is it gonna fall apart like my model cars?
It shouldn't. But yeah, I had to like torch his head and put a different head on there because I like that one instead of the other one.
You have to torch his head, like make it different? Because
these
are already looking goofy.
His little neck. His little neck I had to like melt so I could get the screw on.
Wow. These are the projects you do?
Well, like I did a tiger stripe camo on my Yeti. And actually
it looks sick.
It looks pretty cool. And then I did a traditional camouflage on my Yeti. It came out really bad. I was very disappointed that I spent 2-3 hours doing it and going to the store and buying paint.
I think I remember you told me that because you were going to the field and you're like, I want to camo my Yeti. Because wasn't it like blue or like something like, oh.
I mean, I've been wanting to do this and I've painted my Yetis multiple times.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I have little projects and I feel very rewarding. Like because I'm sitting there, I feel rewarded when finally I finish a project that has taken a little bit of time.
Yeah. I'm just looking at myself in the.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. At least you're not. When he's did half the podcast in a cutoff
like that,
and he just looks so skinny, dude.
Yeah, It's all about the angles.
Yeah, it's all about like, I don't know. You Always Sunny? You ever watch that?
I dabbled.
Okay, so one of the guys, Mac, gets like super jacked.
Oh yeah, Matt got jacked. Yeah.
And he's talked about it on podcasts and shit. He's just like, well, my trainer trains people for television. It's like, dude, the way you want your body to look isn't going to look good on camera. He's like, I don't give a shit. Let's get huge. And then like certain season, he is like wearing tight shirts. And then like later on, he's like wearing loose, baggy Hawaiian shirts because he just looks bad on camera.
Yeah, I mean, some people just look horrible on camera.
His physique is just like.
I'm not saying Joe looks horrible on camera. It was the angles.
Who?
Morphin.
He looked bad. He looked like he needed to eat a sandwich.
I mean, he's not huge. He's not a big dude. He's in shape. He's like,
in shape.
He looks like he can run a marathon.
I bet you he'd out PT both of us right now. At least me.
Yeah, my body's too broken.
Well, he's training for a program.
Yeah. Which I think that's one of the programs that I didn't look into, but I feel like that was like perfect for him. You see, he cut his hair off because he has to swim a lot now.
Oh, really? He buzzed it?
Because he's in the pool every day, or not every day, but
hopefully he just takes all that baby mama drama and just fucking boils it into a goal. You know?
Yeah.
She sucks. Me and my wife were talking about her.
Horrible person.
Just a bad person.
Bad person.
If you're a woman, you have a kid, you're just a bad person.
Yeah, no matter who you are, if you have a kid, immediately bad. You
it's
could
like
be
that bitch downstairs, dude.
Yeah.
You had to walk past her. I'm sorry. Dude.
I'm like, hi.
Yeah, I know, right?
Go away.
I trained my dog to attack you.
Yeah, my dog would rip her in shreds, but
I'm glad she doesn't watch these.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't want my wife to be watching.
No, she watched the first one. She's like, don't look at the camera. I'm like, no, you definitely can. Like, I watched a ton of podcasts. They look at the camera.
Yeah,
it's being personal towards the viewer. Like, hey, I'm making eye contact with you.
Yeah,
and kind of makes you feel involved when you're a viewer. Yeah, and she's like, I don't like it. You shouldn't do it. I'm like, great. I'm super self-conscious now that I look at the camera.
I don't look at the camera because I don't like how it looks.
When they do it in the podcast, or you don't like the way that camera looks?
Both.
Well, ask the viewer how they think the camera looks.
Yeah, they don't know.
You ever think that
these cameras look like what are the Ring cameras, like the Ring doorbells?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit, like straight on.
They look like mic boosters when someone gets mic'd up and they have to put it on their belt.
Yeah.
Yeah. You ever think about the fact that like you're the only person that sees through your eyes, so you don't know if the rest of the world's actually real?
I'm gonna lose sleep tonight. I have thought about that
because like it's like asking the viewer to tell you what the camera looks like.
Yeah, that's the fourth dimension.
They don't know what's behind the viewing lens, just like me.
Yeah, like
if it wasn't for these cameras showing me on camera or mirrors, I wouldn't know what's behind the little bit of
eye. Yeah, that's why I looked at myself.
Yeah,
but less philosophical.
Yeah, dude.
Well, that's why I said that the viewer can't see what's behind the camera, right? And that's why I said there's bodies there.
Yeah,
there's just
in trash.
Well,
there's mess night stuff.
And mess night stuff.
Yeah, I had to get my uniform ready, and then after you get your uniform dry cleaned, pressed, you wear it for the night. Tradition is you throw it on the fucking ground.
You stomp on it.
Yeah, you take your dress blues, throw in the back of your buddy's truck, and see it next year, buddy.
Dude, my dress blues were crammed in my trunk for like 6 months.
Dude, when I graduated core school, I had to go to a DRB right after.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, really cool. And then they're like, we'll drive you back to the barracks. We were like free and clear. We didn't get in trouble. So we're in our dress whites. I'm like, fuck this, dude. Yeah. I'm walking. I don't give a shit. I'm officially released from this school. I don't want to be here. I'll walk in the rain. In my dress whites, walk like good couple blocks in the rain, pretty decent rain, to my room. Just take my dress whites, put them on a coat hanger, put them in. Get all my shit out of the room waiting. I don't know, 20 days later, I go to report into Virginia, take my dress whites out, just full of mold. Had to throw them away.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's horrible. See, I don't think I'd ever got it zapped.
That's like $200-$300.
Oh, yeah. Easy. So what did you do? You just reported in your type 3s?
No, I remember one of the corpsman instructors at the school was like, you never go wrong in dress blues, ever.
That's true.
And I was like, all right. And like FMTB, wherever, I don't care what the season is, I'm always, and like FMTB, I think we're supposed to be in whites. I didn't care. Blues.
Oh, so.
Because right now it's dress white season.
I showed up in my whites.
And that's fine.
I
But
sat down, my ass was instantly black on those bleachers.
That's why I don't do it.
I hate that.
I think it's so dumb.
Dude, a gust of wind would come by and your like legs are black.
You look at a bottle of ketchup and suddenly
it's
you're
on
just
you.
like,
It's on you.
that's why I don't wear white t-shirts. And now that I'm a dad and I'm an old man, I wear like raggedy white like a Sublime shirt.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just like old dingy and shit. Like, dude, I used to think I was cool in the Marine Corps. Like, dude, you can't wear white t-shirts, but like, because that's an undershirt, but like if you have a pocket,
yeah.
like, all right,
with
dude.
like the floral on it, you get at like Ross.
Just like plain white, trying to look like a soy boy, but like going out and like, dude, let's stop at the chow hall and eat before we go out for the night. I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Just like bottle of ketchup, boom, done.
I have to go back to my room.
Got to go back to my room.
Yeah, have to go
Wind
back
up beating off.
Yeah,
Choke yourself a little bit, then you're done for the night. You know.
Yeah. I don't know. You just go to sleep.
Yeah, you're just
done.
Yeah.
You missed the night out with the boys. Where did you go out in 29 Palms?
Palm Springs.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is that like an hour away or closer?
I'd say closer, maybe 45 minutes, but maybe an hour. Yeah.
Is that like a city in there? Like
it's so Palm Springs is
they have their own hockey team now.
What?
They have a hockey team out there. AHL, like, minor league hockey.
Oh, okay, about to say NHL is like
Coachella. I think it's Coachella Valley, which is like
something out there. Yeah,
same place, I guess.
Yeah,
I'm probably completely wrong.
No, Coachella's like right around there. Yeah. So Palm Springs used to be the
like in the 50s and 60s.
I want to say the Summit, but no, it was the resort.
Yeah, it
city
really
for
big.
Hollywood.
Right.
So when they wanted to like disappear and the internet didn't exist, they would go to like Palm Springs to like hang out and relax away from the Hollywood hustle and bustle.
Yeah, I'm sure the paparazzi couldn't keep up with them there.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, everyone goes to Palm Springs. We're just going to go to Palm Springs.
Yeah.
And
so
take a picture of
what
them.
you'll see there, I'm assuming you've spent zero time out there, right?
Me and Lauren would go to Joshua Tree every once in a while.
Yeah, okay.
That's where I proposed. Did I tell you about that?
I thought you proposed inside
No.
the judicial court right in front of me.
No. We went to Joshua Tree a lot, but that's it.
Okay, great story. Glad you could make it.
You asked if I've ever been there. And
no,
that's the closest
Joshua Tree does not count because Palm Springs is
never been
a real town, city. Like, it's small, but it's still like substantial, right?
Yeah.
And what you'll see there, because it used to be Hollywood's elite would go there. So these people with money built these cool like grotto style houses, and the architecture is to keep the heat away from the inside. So they're like flush with the ground.
Yeah.
And like really old, expensive architecture that's now out of date, but still kind of cool. So you'll kind of see that all around. One of the movie theaters I went to is like really, really old school, like 1960s. And I go, this is kind of interesting, and how they kept it up to date, but still like left certain shit. High gay population.
More than San Francisco?
I don't think anything's more than San Francisco, but I said the F word there, and I got basically talked to.
Which F word?
Fag.
Just fag.
Yeah, I was a little drunk, and like something happened where someone was like slightly rude to me, and I was just like, fucking fags. And like,
yeah, that's like
the guy at the Apple store heard me, and I wound up being whatever, see the Geek Squad or whatever the hell it was. And then my buddies who were like hanging out at the front waiting for me, he was like, hey, your buddy like said a not cool word, and just like let him know like he could get kind of into some trouble for like he could get his ass beat.
By who?
I'll tell you what my brother who used to live in Oakland said. He's like, dude, every once in a while you fucking come across some like jacked gay dude that's been doing martial arts for the past 15 years that got bullied when he was a little kid.
Right. And
he just whoops the shit out of you. You're like, oh, like, all right.
So that's what happened to you.
Yeah, dude, I got my face beat in. No, that was a different time.
Face beat in?
Yeah, I got jumped in my sleep when I was in the Marine Corps.
Oh, like Full Metal Jacket jumped? Like a soap party?
Towards the end.
Yeah.
I got into a fight in at the Marine Corps ball with one of my seniors.
Yeah.
And then I got back, and the guy who was kind of the cool with both parties, me and the seniors, rest in peace, Ski, was like, nah, dude, you guys are cool. We were talking about, and then because we didn't have enough room for everybody, we were sleeping in barracks. The whole battalion was sleeping in, not barracks, squad bays. And they got drunk and fucking like started punching me in my rack, and I like kicked them off, and lights came on, and I got like pinned in a corner and like headbutted and fucked up. And then my other buddies like beating the shit out of some other dude. And we're actually pretty good friends now, but anyway, yeah, it was great. My whole face is just like.
I feel like you've got like, I feel like you out of most people have gotten into fights.
I don't know what it is.
Ronnie's up there too. Ronnie's a scrapper, man.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, dude.
You just like fighting.
People check me, I guess. People like kind of check me, and I tend to like, dude, I got in a fight the last day I was on deployment.
Yeah.
And like some dude, I was just like, hey, some dude was like taking whatever like orange peel and just like throwing it right at my feet. I'm like, hey, dude, like do that shit somewhere else.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, okay. And he thought I was joking. I'm like, hey, motherfucker, I'll smack those fucking glasses off your goddamn face. I told you to fucking do. Like, fuck you. And I just grab him by the collar and like push him back. I don't know if I did anything else, or I smacked it out of his hand, just like pick him up. And I don't know if that's on me or what, but like I gave him pretty clear instructions. He was in my space.
Yeah.
Don't be around me. I got no fight in F&P. Maybe it is.
Yeah. It is you. You're the problem.
But that guy came into our space, and he's like talking shit in the middle of our group.
Yeah, that was warranted.
And I'm just like, as the leader, like, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, no, I mean, most fights are warranted.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I wouldn't throw hands unless it was warranted.
I haven't thrown hands in a while.
No. Well,
I'm trying to
that one fight.
Where? FMTB?
The dude that called you out, and he's like, no, come to Horno.
Oh, that's right. I did fight. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
That's
from the podcast.
That's the thumbnail of podcast. Yeah.
We're cool, dude. He's a gate guard.
Or yeah, I mean, I feel like both of you guys got what you asked for.
I think
he got fapped out, and you got.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that was very important as like a modern day thing. It's like we had an argument, or we had a misunderstanding, or whatever it was. Word for both of us is like, we want to fight.
Yeah.
And it came down to like, no, I don't want to talk about this. You said you want to fight. And so for me, like, I got a black eye, I lost, whatever. It was a pretty good fight. But like, I felt it came down to like very old school, like man shit. It's very 1950s, like, yeah, put them up.
Right.
No, we fight here right now. We'll settle this like men.
Yeah.
And, yeah, that's really all it was. And so after the fact, like, I have really no hard feelings towards the guy. I don't have hard feelings for the guy.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it was this like kind of a stewardly man thing.
Just
and
get it over with.
Yeah, and I remember running into senior chief, my first sergeant, all sorts of people, and they're like, "What happened to you? Am I gonna get a call about this?" Like, no, you drunk? I'm like, nope. Like, all right. Anyway, do you have the report for me? I'm like,
yeah. Fights are good.
Well, I think I was more eager to fight and prove something as I was young due to insecurities. And I remember hearing that very young from a camp counselor. It's like, I used to like to fight a lot because I was insecure. I'm like,
You're like, I would never fight.
No, I was talking about fighting. It's like,
okay.
I used to be like you. That's because I was insecure. I'm like,
Yeah. You don't know anything.
You don't know anything.
Yeah. And then you kicked his ass.
Beat the shit out of him. No, dude, I used to get the shit kicked out of me a lot.
Yeah.
And then when I became older, apparently I was a bully and then got kicked out of school for it.
That's news to me. I never heard of that before.
I was basically forced to transfer schools.
What age was this? Like 15?
Senior high school.
Oh, shit. So then you're just like Marine Corps time.
No. So after Hurricane Katrina, we moved up to our house. We had like a investment property in Utah, and then moved up there. My dad got his business back online.
You were in Utah?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
My dad had a second home there.
Yeah,
that he sold for a lot of money afterwards, but bought it for cheap, sold for high. And so I wound up going to high school there. like started playing football, and, like started getting friends. Yeah. And then like, hey, Dad, I want to stay. And then I started smoking more weed, drinking more, hanging out with friends for the wrong reasons. And then I had a girlfriend that someone else called her a slut, and I thought someone else said it, and I like punched him a couple times, and pretty freak accident, like broke his hand right here.
Broke his hand?
Broke his hand, and like it just.
What, do you punch him in the hand?
I guess he blocked.
Oh, okay.
And what sucks is like it wasn't even the right guy that called my slutty girlfriend a fact that she was a slut.
So what if she cheated on me? I'm gonna kick your ass for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I'm insecure.
Dude. Exactly.
Yeah.
And like he had surgery and all this, and just like out of the blue, like months later, my mom got a phone call from his mother, like, "Hey, I had to pay for my son's hand surgery, and your son broke his hand, and like got brought up to the school, and like you're a bully." And I'm just like, I had to. Multiple times in my life, I had to like look myself in the mirror and be like, what kind of person am I?
Yeah.
It's really fun.
Those are always great. You're just
they're if you don't take them for granted, they're super useful.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's a lot of times that I feel like when you do, you kind of don't listen to yourself and you're like, no, it's fine. Like, you know, what I'm thinking is not true. And then when you finally like, the third, fourth time when you're like, yeah, I'm a monster. I need to do something about this. And then you're just like, okay, I think it's time to actually do something about this.
Right. And that's what I talk about. I had a family member that was really blind to that about, oh, it was their fault, this fault, that fault. And I was pretty good about it. And especially I learned because I got caught with like a teeny bit of weed before the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
And I had to get it off my record, I had to go to like AA.
Right.
And
that adds up.
I was forced to tell my story. I was like, yeah, well, this cop, and the guy stopped me. He's like, no, that cop was doing his job. You were doing something illegal in that spot, and that cop who was doing his job came across you doing something, smoking weed at a dock.
And you're like, this is AA though.
Well, they're making me take a responsibility.
Yeah.
And I remember he made me stop what I was saying and turn it to where
you're the guilty one,
had a joint and was smoking weed. And that cop caught me doing something illegal that I was doing.
Right, yeah.
And it like just shook my world. And from then I took responsibility more so for things I've done wrong. Yeah. And then what I'm also good at is if I do something wrong and I get in trouble for it, I'm very less likely. I'm not talking about like crimes and shit. Yes, of course. But like, I remember in the Marine Corps, how do I say this? If I'm getting direction of what not to do, I'm usually best about not doing it, making that offense instead of ask for forgiveness, you know? Because I remember in the Marine Corps, one of our corporals told us on ship, he's like, hey, if you're going to the gym, it's either rainbow gear, which is like wear whatever you want, but no green or green on green. You can't have like a green shirt with a pair of swim trunks or something.
Yeah.
And me and my buddies, little booty boots, getting ready to go to the gym, and my buddy puts a unit shirt, and he has whatever bottoms on.
You're like, you can't do that.
And I'm like, hey, no, not you. I was like, hey, dude, like, no, you can't do that.
Yeah,
just like we were just told. He's like, dude, you're being paranoid. Relax. And then we get seen in the gym. It gets reported, comes all the way down to the corporal. And like, you were fucking there with him. And like one of those cases where I'm not going to be like, well, I told him. But like as soon as we get bitched out and whatever our punishment is, I'm just like, hey, motherfucker, I literally did tell you. And now I'm caught up in your bullshit, you know?
How did he take that? He's just like, whatever.
I don't remember. But I've been in those situations before. And that's when like, kind of as a father adult, I'm not getting caught up in that shit. Just like, hey man, you go do that.
Yeah, I mean,
you have fun doing that shit.
Yeah. Hopefully you take accountability when you get in trouble for it.
Yeah. And I remember talking to one of our counterparts about that, about a little drinking and razzing a little too much.
That could be a lot of people.
I know it could be, but just like, hey, you know, like you don't see me out on a Friday night getting into fucking fist fights.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, As long as you win. No. I feel like it. I feel like that's really easy to get tied up into.
Well, yes, but it's also very easy to get yourself out of, because now my mom comes from an alcoholic father, and she was never stoked about me going to the bars.
Yeah.
But like, one of the clear lines that really helped me is like, okay, if I'm not doing anything, I'm not going to go to the bar, because what's going to happen? I'm going to spend a lot of money.
Right.
Or just money. I'm just going to spend money. I'm going to drink more than probably I should. I might hook up with a chick, and probably not going to be like, well, this is when I'm single.
Yeah.
Probably not do the right thing. Probably, have unprotected sex. Or get into a fist fight. If I win, I have an assault charge, which has happened.
Right, yeah.
And then, or if I lose, I'm just like this embarrassment. Like, I get my ass beat.
Now I have to get hand surgery.
Yeah. I see what you did there.
Yeah.
And, so it's like, what good is coming out of going to the bar? Now, there's a difference between having dinner and drinks and then rolling out. Like, all right, later, man.
Right.
Or having some beers over at your friend's house. But then you have the buddy that comes over, has a steak and beer, and then they can't keep it together, and they go out in town and fucking get a DUI after they just had dinner with friends, Have you ever heard about people like that? No? I'm not talking about anybody specifically.
No, I mean, I have a friend that constantly gets in trouble.
Yeah.
Constantly gets in trouble, but he's just like good at staying out of trouble. Actually, I have a few friends like that.
Yeah.
But and I love the dude, but I feel like he just has never really had like a full slap on the wrist.
Yeah.
I mean, he has in the past.
Yeah.
Which got him kicked out of Buds.
Okay.
But he just keeps on doing it. And
Well,
that should be like, hey man, like you joined the Navy to be a SEAL.
Yeah.
You got kicked out of the program, you can't be a SEAL.
Right.
Like when are you gonna like just reel it in and be like, hey, I need to like stop doing this shit? But that's so easy to like, unless you really take that accountability and like be like, I'm responsible for this shit. It's gonna keep on going.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that was something when I became a SEAL cadet, when I got through and I'm in prep and I'm finally there. I remember them telling me, like, you're restricted to the building.
Yeah.
You're on duty. When you leave the building, you have to check out. You get your red card status right now, which means anytime you're always in a military uniform. And I went from being an infantry Marine to a civilian to processing through the Navy. And even in processing, I could go off and do whatever I wanted.
Yeah.
Because I was at your boot camp, but I didn't do it. I could get out of uniform and like go out into town. No one gave a shit.
Yeah.
To going across the street and like anywhere you go, you have to sign out. You have to be in a military uniform. We have to know where you are at all times.
And you're like, what the fuck?
You have
is
a
this?
curfew on the weekends.
Yeah.
You have a wake up time on the weekends. You cannot drink alcohol. If you go out into town, you have to be in your NSUs and you have to be in a group of 3. And I was just like, oh, and you can't drive.
Yeah.
Like, my car is in the parking lot. And then I remember the dude's like, how much does this program mean to you? I was like, okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
And like, for me, I was like, I was in, dude. I remember one time I like absolutely needed to run an errand. So I like checked out to go to the chow hall, got in my car, awkwardly got out of my uniform and like went and run an errand to UPS.
Yeah.
And like came back. And that was like the only time.
UPS.
I had something that was delivered from UPS.
Like,
I don't
this
know
guy
what
bought this guy bought this necklace off eBay on me, and I needed to send it out. I needed that $50.
I can't remember what it was, but like it was something that got sent to the UPS store, and I couldn't go pick it up.
Yeah,
but I had to, and like that was the only time. And then you had dudes that got their yellow card that are allowed to drink unless you're underage. One dude gets caught on Snapchat drinking at a ball game.
Awesome.
Out of the program. The class, 2 classes or 1 class before me, all forge their slips
that was one.
like 25% get kicked out of the program. And then you'll run into those dudes and like, I could have been a Navy SEAL, but they kicked me out for some bullshit. Yeah. And it's like, no, here, let me take you back to Blake at 19 years old when I was forced to say I.
Right.
I forged the slips. I got kicked out of the Navy SEAL program, and I am not a Navy SEAL because I fucked up, not I could have been. You don't know what happened in Hell Week. You don't know what if you would have made it to Hell Week. So yeah, that I just remember that very clearly. And I remember someone like, dude, relax, bro. It's like, no, this program means a lot to me.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be one of those dudes that has a drink I really don't need or care about and get caught.
Yeah, like I can go without a drink for a year and a half.
And that's another thing too. It's like, how long can you? Oh, I can go forever. Well, then go forever.
Yeah, I mean, why are you trying to do something for yourself and you're willing? It's not even, and then like the accountability piece. It's not even that like, oh, you're like fine with drinking. It's like that you are willing to risk.
Yes.
Like not even just like, oh, like I would drink. It's just you're willing to risk like everything that like your future.
Yeah.
That's why I've always been like a goody two shoes. I'm just like I'm not gonna risk anything.
No, I get that.
I've never been like I've never like wanted to get in trouble, you know, and that is respect.
I don't think you want to get in trouble. I don't think anybody wants to get in trouble.
Or
but
willing to risk that shit.
And I think it's called probably your constitution. Maybe would be a good word.
Yeah.
It's like, have you watched Parks and Rec?
Briefly.
So there's this character Ron Swanson.
Yeah,
and
he's
very
like
the
Claymore.
Yeah, he's very what's the political party?
Libertarian.
Yeah. I do what I want. I don't think we should have any rules. Borderline anarchist, right? And he's trying to get something done, and it turns out his wood shop is completely out of code. And he's like, well, my code, my Ron Swanson code, will similarly correlate with the city's code of electrical and dust collection.
Yeah.
And it's like, for most of us, our code does align with don't murder, don't rape, don't fucking hurt children, don't do all these different things. But then it's, are you the type of person that does all those things? Yeah, the things to keep you out of jail, right? When someone's not looking, or when you have the opportunity, are you speeding down the highway?
Yes.
Are you a speeder? Are you? Yeah, dude, I'm doing fucking 80 and I'm passing a cop and he is not flinching when the 5 is like 55 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Which is just change it to 75, dude. Like,
honestly, yeah.
The limit. Like all of us going in that group are all breaking the law by 20 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And then it goes into people that are sticklers about uniforms, but they're not sticklers about something on themselves. It's like, oh,
yeah, that's
you're fucking, you're not wearing a skivvy shirt or whatever.
You're just like,
and it's like,
you look like shit.
Yeah,
too.
but you have fucked up boots.
Yeah,
but you didn't shave this morning or whatever it is. You just were walking and talking on a cell phone, which is you have to stand in place.
I hate that.
Or you just walked across the parking lot without your cover, but you're yelling at me because my mustache is too long.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you want to nitpick on this, but not hold yourself accountable for that.
Right. And it's not even, I mean, it's not even like how good of a sailor you are at that point. It's like your actual, like, who are you as a man?
Right. Your constitution.
You know? Your constitution.
Like, where does your thing differentiate from the real rules? Where do you think you're better than that? Nah, dude, I'm not going to get caught. So I'm going to do this or that.
Yeah.
And those kind of thoughts do make me nervous. It's just like, dude, I could do this. I could probably get away with that. But fuck, dude, no, I could.
Yeah.
I can't do it, man.
Right. And it's funny because, like, I've always been like that. I've always been like, I can't do that. I'm going to get in trouble. There's a possibility I can be in trouble. And then I joined the military that would literally put me in the worst position. And I'm just like, yeah, that's fine. Like, that's fine. That's my constitution. It'd be like, I can't get in trouble, but like putting my welfare in risk, like I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I'm
not fine with it.
It's so weird. Like,
I did.
If they talk about it, it's talked about
them,
those people.
Jay.
That like, oh, if it's on a grand enough scale, there's really It's just the way business and politics works. It's like if you take $500 million from the government on a loan and you default on it, it's like, oh, we'll do the bailout program for you. But if you have a government contract over COVID and it's like $20,000, they're starting to come for that money.
Right.
It's like, nah, fuck you. It's like, oh, dude, if you commit if you're a general and you tell your whatever to have a 20-year proxy war and hundreds of thousands of people are killed, and at the end there's fucking, this explosion. It's like, oh, no one's kept accountable. But if you're over there and you pull the trigger, your CO is going to hold you accountable, but no one's holding that general accountable. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, that's what happened in D.C.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what we were talking about.
It's at such a grand scale that it's to the point where it's just like, oh, no, just that dude told me.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, did he? And we're like, no. It's like the, man, I had a phrase for it. I don't know if it's real. Just like the putting off of blame, just like putting it on someone else. Yeah. And by the time they get to that person with the microphone, they're like, man, that shit's old, dude. Fucking
like the negligence.
August 26th, dude. That was 2 years ago. What the fuck you talking about?
Yeah.
We're on some new shit, dude. Did you hear about fucking January 6th? How about that?
Yeah. I think, when it comes to that, like, it's just negligence. The kind of people just deter, and they're just like, yeah, that never really happened.
Yeah, man, I'm thinking of the words, but it doesn't matter.
That's fine.
Fuck it all, dude. All right, let's go to Vikings.
Okay.
So me and Joe on the last podcast, Joe was talking about professionalism. He's like, dude, what's professional about, like, shooting people and, like, doing this shit and doing that shit? Like, everything we do is like infantry. It's like, that's not professional, dude. So again, we have these rules of, like, statutory crimes, felonies, misdemeanors, and then, like, politeness, right?
Yeah.
And these are all based off of our societal norms.
Yep.
But then you look 500 years in the past. I don't know when Vikings were a thing.
A little bit less. Or
you look far back in the past of what those societies were, and it was rape and pillage. It was just, if they are not a Viking, or even if they are a Viking, like the justification of just killing them on the spot, right?
Yeah.
So, like, this, what the definition of a man is on basically their constitution or their morals, their moral compass, on politeness. Like, is it polite to go get into a fist fight down in Camp Horno? No, but would some people consider that a manly constitution? So, like, the difference between, like, politeness, being polite, professional, and sticking to your morals and of our, like, primordial, evolutionary, like, mongering.
I think everyone has their own definition of professionalism. What is professionalism? Right. My definition of it is being able to be proficient at your job. It depends what it is, I guess. In general, being able to be proficient, being able to be well-mannered, and being able to be presentable. So all three of those together, if you're able to encompass all of it into one, which is, your presentation of who you are, then you're a professional.
Or if you're a sponsored athlete.
If you're a sponsored athlete.
Or if you buy a Toyota and it says TRD Pro.
Right.
Because it does get a little muddled, right? A little muddled, where it's like, oh, you're a professional painter. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, man, I fucking paint houses. Yeah. And it's like, no, I'm a professional artist painter. And it's like, professional, yes, that man makes a living off of painting houses. And he's missing a front tooth and he walks around and, he's not presenting a suit and tie, but he is a professional painter.
And then you see him, but you're like, that guy's not professional.
That motherfucker's a scallywag, as I would call him.
Yeah, he looks like shit. Yeah. So it really depends what you do. So let's say, like, you are a painter. Let's say you're an artist, right? Mm-hmm. That community will also have their depiction of what a professional artist looks like. Yeah. Now we're talking about the military, that people are trained to kill, trained to, all a certain
segment of the military.
Trained to gather intel, trained to help a supply chain.
Yeah.
So how good are you at that, right? You know, are you can you present yourself in a well-mannered, you know, way? So
would you say there's a time and place to like be in this presentable portion versus like this guerrilla style?
So the way that I see that is, at least in my experience as, you know, as a corpsman, is that whatever happens overseas, however I look, that doesn't matter as much due to the fact that, you know, it's almost unattainable because, you know, like we're not shaving as much.
Right.
I'm not gelling my hair, but I'm well mannered to the degree that like I'm able to communicate. But that's when it kind of gets misconstrued. But then when we're back, let's say no one would know what we've done overseas. But let's say a civilian sees me and they're like, he's, you know, he looks good in his uniform. He does his hair. He shaves. He looks good.
Yeah.
Being able to have that duality, that's when I feel like someone's really a professional.
Yeah. Well, I think a little bit it gets muddled when like overseas, right? You're wearing camouflage for the purpose of being a hard target.
Right.
You're trying to be a soft, you're trying to be a hard target. You're trying to be hard to shoot at. You're trying to blend in with the dirt background, right? And so having a beard that takes your jawline out of this perfect, you know, silhouette of a jawline, and have a beard and have glasses covering your eyes, and even for like intel gathering on you, you're trying to look like a fucking grizzly man, so they can't say, "Hey, we have blah blah blah." The corpsman clean shaven, where everybody else looks like a fucking gorilla.
Right.
And then I think what would be a helpful thing is when we're back in the rear and we're wearing camouflage all the time. Now, this is a little bit tricky with the infantry because, like, you're kind of always training.
Yeah.
But what the Navy does is you're at a clinic, like, no, go put on your NSUs. This is the uniform of the day. You slicked hair, clean shave. You're in a suit, which the rest of the world wears a suit to go to work. You wear a suit to go to work and see people and click, click, clack.
Yeah.
Like the civilian that comes in, even though it's not really true, back in the day, a little bit, 20 years ago, everybody would be, you know, button-up shirt.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, you put on a button-up shirt. And I think that does give a good kind of perception of like the on and off switch of what you're saying. But it gets a little frumpy in the fact that like we're in the rear, we're kind of in a training status, even though everybody in that CP is not going out in the dirt.
Yeah.
But they're in camouflage, and Gunner has super faded camouflage, but no one's telling Gunner what to do. You know?
Yeah, I mean, that it definitely is muddled because, I mean, did that Gunner at one point in time, was he like in regs, doing everything correctly, like not getting in trouble late? Yeah, at one point.
Yeah, that's why he's a gunner.
Yeah. But now he can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Now he can do whatever. Like I had, when I was in 1-7, towards the end of my time there, I had my first sergeant, who was a really good dude, come up to me. He's like, oh, fuck, I'll have to bleep my name. He's like, gotta get new camis. They're too faded. I'm just like, these are fucking, they're like perfect.
Yeah.
They're like pajamas,
they're
man.
comfy. Yeah, they're comfy.
And he told me that, and then my CO walks up and he's wearing white deserts. I'm just like, what the fuck, dude? But that first sergeant's not going to go tell his commanding officer, who was his counterpart. At least he wouldn't at that time, obviously, or he did. And the CO goes, "Go fuck yourself."
Yeah,
that's not my priority. I wear these. These are fucking super old, and I like them.
Yeah,
that first sergeant can't do a goddamn thing about that.
But was that a professional interaction?
I don't know if that did happen.
Yeah.
But I just remember me getting picked on for having faded camis. Yeah. And then, and then my number one prime example walking up, my commanding officer, having cloth.
Yeah.
As
like falling apart.
Yeah.
So faded.
And it's just like, God damn. But like, I don't have a foot to stand on because what my first sergeant is saying is correct.
Right.
But he's doing it.
Right. I mean, the way that I see it too is like it kind of means more when you're taking care of your uniform. Can I get that liquid death? It means more, I suppose, to advocate for them, that you are able to maintain a good uniform, maintain all that, all the regulations.
Yeah.
Because when you are in the shit, it's like you are completely out of regs.
I mean, you saw that in Afghan.
Yeah.
How quick. Now, I don't know how any other company conducted business.
Yeah.
I don't know how Echo conducted business. I don't know anything up until we were all in the same battle arena.
Right.
I remember showing up to the BAS when y'all were still around in wherever base, and he had his shit like rolled way the fuck up.
In Afghan or?
No, in before y'all went to PSAB.
Kuwait.
Wherever the hell that was.
Yeah.
Jabber. I was out with a bunch of SF dudes and spooks, and I rolled my shit up at a range, and my gunny got told by my lieutenant. He came up. He's like, "Hey, Doc, I got to be the guy, but, like, unroll your shit." I'm like, all right. Dude, especially when you come off that way, yeah, absolutely, no problem.
Yeah. No, I agree.
My lieutenant was old enlisted. My gunny's just old school. It's just, there's really no fucking reason for it. Like, man, like, unroll your shit. So I don't know how any of y'all operated in the field, platoon, squad, company, anything. But as soon as we got to Afghan, Kevlar button undone, rolled sleeves. Yeah. Dude, if you're a fucking 81 millimeter mortarman, holy shit, you just lost your fucking mind.
Yeah.
Absolutely lost your mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember we were, warrior sleeves, had my tattoos showing.
But then again, this is why I might get into fights, because out of nowhere, someone came up to me to tell me what everybody else is being an offender of. Fix your shit. And I'm just like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah,
There's 20 other dudes around here. Yeah, but you're part of fucking Cat Blue and you fix your shit. And I just walk away from the dude.
Yeah. I was asked, "Hey, Doc, do you want to play a game?"
Oh, yeah, this.
"Hey, Doc, do you want to play a game?" Yeah, sure. It's called Put Your Fucking Kevlar Back On. And I'm like, that is literally the most disrespectful way. Like, I just.
And I've asked this before. You don't think he was joking? Like,
no,
was a playful thing.
No, he wasn't joking. That was just like, that's just who he was. That's just how we rolled.
I'll bleep it. What was his name? I swear to God, I'll bleep it. Okay. Yeah. Because we had this dude Skinner take over for.
Skinner was my man. He was.
Skinner took over for XO for Golf Company.
Well, what happened was, and you probably already know, but I was with first platoon. I was new. I was the newest corpsman there. And then they didn't take me and Serrano on their detail in the Gulf. So then we were...
So they just left without corpsman?
Yeah, because they wanted to rely on the blue side corpsman over there. They said they had a medical contingency there. And it wasn't, Staff Sergeant Hoover that did it. Because he wanted to bring at least...
It seems very dumb.
Yeah, I mean...
why you have...
I was new to the platoon, right? And then they were gone.
Yeah.
So I did one day in the field with them, and then they were gone. And then went with 4th platoon with Staff Sergeant Emmett and LT Skinner, and just like that became my family. Like, those were my guys. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, it was because I was like disrespected. I mean, was it a logistic thing or was it a manning thing? Like, maybe, but the impression was that like they didn't need us.
Right.
So then we were displaced and we were put into 4th and 3rd platoon respectively. We kind of asked the like LT Skinner and at least me, like the Staff Sergeant Emmett and LT Skinner like asked, I'm like, can I like join your platoon? And they're like, yes, like we want you to join.
Yeah.
So I just went with them, became family, and then that's where that started. But it all stemmed from kind of just being like disrespected and being like, you guys aren't coming with us.
Yeah, that's a little weird. I feel like it was Sankey or maybe Duffy. And they both were in a place, and then the Army, like National Guard or whatever unit shows up.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, hey, where's your medic? Where's your whoever is replacing me? And I think it might have been both of them. They're just like, medic?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're medic for your small unit out here. Like, we don't have a medic.
Yeah.
Like, so who's your medical senior advisor? Like, we don't have one. And they're just like, okay, have a good time on deployment. And they're like, okay, goodbye.
What the fuck?
And I think
The coyote?
Let me go get him.
Hell yeah. That is interesting.
You haven't seen him like walk by a horno and shit?
I've seen one that got hit by a fucking car. Yeah, it was just wildly dead coyote. I love coyotes. I think they're cool.
They're pretty cool.
Like small fox wolves.
They ate my cat in Louisiana.
Yeah. I don't have that history.
I don't think you like cats.
I used to have one.
You had a cat?
Remember that?
Kitty cat.
You used to have a little kitty cat. And then give her away. Mia. At
your house? At your apartment?
San Clemente, yeah.
I mean, San Clemente is that way.
Back there.
Over there.
That way. So San Clemente, we had a cat, and then we gave it away and got a dog because upgrade.
Yeah, people get confused when I point and say across the street and this and that. Like at my new command, like talking to my chief, I was like, yeah, across the street. They're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, main side, Camp Pendleton.
Yeah, across the
street. He's like, no, yeah, I guess. Like, we don't talk like that.
Yeah, that's not accurate.
I'm like, all right.
I don't know what I'm talking about myself.
Yeah,
it's all the same.
That'd be such a good skit.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I was helping an immigrant.
I used to call him at 12 o'clock at noon every day. Hey, what are you doing?
Well,
I'm like, okay, what?
Yeah, I'm on main side. I'm helping an immigrant.
I'm like, what are you talking about? We need accountability.
An immigrant. He doesn't have his citizenship yet. I'm like,
who is this immigrant you're talking about? He's like, Lance Corporal Garber.
Well, didn't he hang up on you? I got to go by. And just like hung up.
Well, yeah, he's like,
we're at the counter. I got to go.
I'm like, all right, but who is this guy? He's like, it's Garbin, who's like one of my Marines. I'm like, okay, you could have just started with that. But he was helping an immigrant at noon on a Tuesday.
I was stuck in a ditch somewhere.
I got stuck in the sewer. I followed a raccoon down there. It kind of waved at me, and I just followed.
Did I tell you? I think I was working on. Anyway, I was on duty in the BAS, and it's the battalion changeover from the last BC to the new BC.
Talking about upgrade.
I've known about this for like months, dude, and I knew my duty was on the day.
Right, yeah.
I'm like, dude, sweet. I don't have to go stand out in formation for them to parade the colors and do all this political back and forth, and you are now the new battalion commander of
Like, yep, we know.
And I knew it, dude. I knew from way far out that I didn't have to go do that because I was on duty. And then all of a sudden, just pops up behind me. The entire battalion is up on the hill on the helo pad, and I'm just like, "What's up, dude?" Yeah, well, apparently there's battalion formation. I didn't. Like, it's the battalion changeover.
We've known this.
No one told me. I was like, I've known for months, months.
Like, we have this in the group chat.
Anyway, I'm trying to see if I can go home.
Yeah, it's like, no, you're gonna go walk up there.
I'm trying to get this damn signature from Teely so I can go IDC school. I'm just like, dude, you sure that's the thing? He's like, yeah. Anyway, I'm like, you're gonna be here a while. Everyone's at the battalion changeover. He's like, well, no one tells me things. I'm like,
it's in the damn group chat for a month.
Yeah.
Are we at 3 hours?
No, not even close.
What are we at?
2. Sorry.
Nice. I need to take a piss.
Go ahead, man.
Okay. Just gonna do it right here.
Yeah, dude.
Into the Yeti.
Into there. It's waterproof. It's not really waterproof. It's very bad.
I'll probably be fast.
Yeah, go ahead. Take your time. Oh, man. You ever know if you might have a sandwich hiding on you?
Oh. Oh, my man. I'm going to eat. All right. What were we talking about?
Anyway.
Yeah, so there was a box there. I was super excited, and it's
You want my
empty.
sandwich?
No, it's okay, man.
All right.
No, enjoy your sandwich.
Okay, well, I did.
It's good. It's
Found
good.
that sandwich in a sewer.
Yeah, raccoon made it for me.
Yeah,
so.
raccoon.
So, yeah.
Want some vodka?
No. Is that really vodka?
Oh, yeah. Mess night.
Mm-mm-mm. With the black flask, too?
Yeah, dude. But get doctor's medicine put on it.
Yeah. Doctor's poison. That's not vodka. Oh. It smells like...
It's not vodka. It's hand sanitizer.
It's hand sanitizer. Straight up hand sanitizer.
It's rubbing alcohol.
That's how you stop the COVID. People started to drink hand sanitizer.
Oh, yeah. I made that joke. My wife was a little under the weather. She's like, hey, go to Trader Joe's and get these, like, little herbal shots. You know what I'm talking about? You ever seen those around?
Little tinctures?
Yeah, little tinctures, little
glass ones.
shot
Yeah.
things. And I go. And I always do this if my wife gives me anything to get at a grocery store. I'll just, like, grab someone and be like, hey, man, my wife told me to get this, so can you help me? Like, I'm a retarded person. And they're like, got you, dude. So he goes and he brings me to it. I'm like, oh, yeah. He's like, is this it? I was like, yeah, that's the stuff that cures COVID, right? And, like, dude, we're in, like, pretty close to Los Angeles. And this guy's just like, I'm like, I'm just joking around. He's like, oh, okay. like a moment of fear. He just thought I was.
Yeah.
I wish that fucking dog would shut up. Sorry. Y'all can't hear it, but there's a coyote fucking having birth or something.
Yeah, it's definitely giving birth up there.
Yeah, the fear that struck into that man's face that I made a joke about COVID.
COVID? No.
Oh, another time, I guess they took the mask away. They put the mask back on. They
That
took
was
the mask
fun.
away.
Yeah, that was
And
really
I went
fun.
into Trader Joe's without a mask. And I heard one of the employees like, oh, we got a rebel in the crowd. And I just like, I didn't even know what he was talking about at first. And then I realized that Trader Joe's personally, like as a company, was like, please mask. And I didn't read this fucking sign.
Be like, hey, Tristan, come over here. Let me fucking knock you out. I'll show you how much of a rebel I am. That's why I hate Californians, man. Not hate, but
I think it's
are
a pretty general broad stroke, but I think I think it's mainly the people that are trying to merge into the Hollywood. Just like, because when they try to do that, they give up everything that makes them a human being to morph into this character that they tell them to be.
Right.
It's like basically selling their soul. Like, I will conform to any ideological,
Right.
anything you want me to believe. Yep. Hook, line, sinker. I'm with you
Fine.
guys. Just feed me money.
I just want to be in the next John Wick. Just
Yeah,
whatever
yeah,
it
yeah.
takes to
Can
be.
you shoot me in the face in the next John Wick? My name's Dan Blazarian.
Yeah. I know. Oh, it was almost a seal.
I'm
so-
suing them because I paid them $500,000 to get 15 seconds. They only put me in for 13.
Is that something that happened
Yeah.
in the new one?
No, not John Wick. What was the
in
Navy SEAL one?
American Sniper?
The one where the helicopter gets shot down?
Lone Survivor.
Lone Survivor.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be in longer, and
They just showed like him like
they showed him like super fast
sitting on a Chinook.
Yeah, and he paid a certain amount of money to be in it,
Desperate.
and then he also paid desperate.
Boink. Oh boy.
It's really good equipment. I
Yeah,
swear
my
to
equipment's not problematic.
It's freaking fine.
It's
It really is
awesome.
fine, dude.
Yeah, it's fine.
The
man.
amount of money I put into this.
Hits you in the chest. Can hear your heartbeat. Yes, he's desperate. That is ridiculous. Please, yeah. So I just want to be in the movie for at least 13
But
seconds.
didn't the dude
Okay.
from Fast and Furious do the same thing?
Paul Walker?
No, Tyrone Biggins.
Tyrone Biggums? That is from the Chappelle Show.
Oh no, who's
Tyrese.
Tyrese? Bigums.
It's Tyrone's brother. Yeah.
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 No, but wasn't he paying to be in Fast and Furious?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure he was.
I don't know.
Because they have been actors that are like, please, I fucking need this.
Did he pay to be in the one that like they're like going outer space?
I fell off, dude.
They fell off.
I can't.
It's not even Fast and Furious anymore.
What was the dude? I don't know what. I think it was Hobbs and Shaw. Maybe that's Fast and Furious, right?
I don't know. I watched the first one and then like the second one was like
I think it was Hobbs and Shaw because I remember Kevin Hart like popping up in a little cameo on
really?
a plane. It was kind of funny. And then it's like Charlize Theron's like zombie cars. And like they hack all the cars in the city and they're all like driving on their own.
no,
I was like, what is this? And then another scene, Vin Diesel jumps in the air to catch a girl doing like 200 miles an hour, catches her between two parallel bridges with a gap in between, and then catches her midair and then lands into a convertible car, and no one gets blasted.
Get the fuck out.
No one gets pink misted when they collide, doing 200 miles an hour.
Yeah,
you know,
you like land on like the shifter and just rip you open.
Yeah, and you know, because his hand-eye coordination is so good when he jumps out of that car.
Right,
he has to unbuckle first.
Of course, he had a seatbelt on the whole time.
And people are like, "Oh, dude, just take it for what it is. It's a car movie. It's action." It's like, yeah, but there's a certain point where I just can't pretend anymore. No, that's so bad.
I want to see cars go fast, not Vin Diesel flying.
Yeah, give us a little bit of realism. Not, dude, we have to drive cars in outer space.
Yeah, we're driving on Mars.
I don't know how to get... And, like, when does it become a B movie? Because they make millions of dollars, right?
It doesn't, because
they don't make millions anymore?
No, it doesn't become a B movie because everyone will just watch it because it's Fast and Furious.
Right. But it's like B movie plot line, at least. Not like movie production wise.
Yeah,
it's like top notch. But
they spend millions of dollars for a shitty movie.
Yeah.
It's like
Vin Diesel's doing coke, like, no, this will work.
Yeah.
Let's do this one.
Yeah,
I'm Groot. Let's go.
They're like storyboarding, and they're just like, Vin, this is actually ass. Yeah. He's like, no, we're gonna be on the moon and driving, and it's all about family.
The first person on Mars will be a GT Camaro.
Yeah.
What? That's not a car.
2024. It's not out yet.
Yeah, Ford Lightning. It's gonna drive you to the moon.
Tesla.
Yeah, Tesla. Hey, Tesla, suck my dick.
Hey, Tesla, could you clean my balls, please? It can do that.
Yeah. No, yeah, I know. New update's crazy, dude.
Yeah, the Tesla has a bidet in it now. It's like it's automatic bidet.
Can you show me where it is?
Yeah. If you hit...
Never used one, have you?
A bidet?
Yeah.
No, I mean, I
you shot it up in there, dude? Holy shit.
That's loud.
Is it dying? Like, you think it's dying?
I think it's on a bidet.
Yeah.
It's getting its water shot in its ass. That's a French thing, I believe. Bidet.
Yeah.
That's one thing I don't dabble in.
You don't fuck with the French or your butthole?
Apparently I'm 25% French, so I should at least try it once.
75% butthole?
75% butthole, 25% French. So, yeah, no bidet. Oh, bidet now.
You think Vikings use bidets?
Yeah, they had bidets back in the 1400s.
Yeah. It was mainly sticks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was just sticks, and they would just wipe each other's ass.
Where did your Nordic passion come from? Because you like all that, right? But you're French. Are you
Greek, German, French? But where did that come from? Was my
none of those things are Vikings.
Well, when they did their world tour, they actually did recruit a few guys when they went through. Not Germany. They fought against the...
You're not 6'5", blonde with broad shoulders.
No.
I mean, you're not short.
I'm not short.
You have black hair, a thick... You're just Greek.
Yeah. Okay, fine.
I'm a fucking Frenchman over here. I'm not... But...
Where did it come from?
Yeah, where did your, like... You think that shit's cool, right?
Yeah, I got into it. My platoon sergeant, we talked very briefly about it, and then he's just like, just think about like being within the warrior class. He's like, what does the warrior class mean to you? And that was kind of like the first like sit down talk we talked about. And then when I would roll with him, like, if it's in the field or we're just like doing whatever, he had a patch on his, I guess like his camelback cover or carrier. And I would just like look at it all the time, and it was actually glow in the dark. So then I remember
Can be kind of sick.
it's pretty sick,
Depending on what it is.
Yeah, it was this. It was this with runes around.
What is that called?
Ayas Yalmir.
Yeah, well, okay.
Ayas Yalmir.
I'm not going to try and
No. If you look at it how it's spelt, you're like, I'll never be able to
give up on that.
Yeah, real quick. But then I kind of just did it. I kind of just studied, looked more into it. I'm a history buff too, so I'm like, this is one culture and class I've never really studied, and I got really into it. Then we went to Afghanistan, and with him, he started calling me Doc Kraken, which Kraken was you know what a Kraken is, right?
Yeah, I have it basically tattooed on my shoulder.
Right. So Kraken, and then we would just like make jokes about that.
But is that Norse?
It is Norse.
From the sea monsters and all that shit?
That's what protected the water all near like the Arctic Circle.
That's kind of sick. And it generated from them, not another borrowing from another culture or anything?
They all borrow.
I know they all have anybody that was on the sea have their myths of sea monsters and mermaids and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But like the Kraken, the word came from those languages?
Yeah. So it's I suppose like Scandinavian just in general, but then it came from like the Norse. It's a mythological.
So when I think of Scandinavia, for some reason I think of Latin people. Is that incorrect?
So Scandinavia is that whole section of Norway, Denmark. I really wouldn't consider, but like
so tall, blonde, white people. I'm wrong.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Scandinavia. So yeah, Kraken, and then we got into it talking a little bit more, and he just started calling me Doc Kraken because of how, I guess, like aggressive I was. He watched me
slap a patient.
No. There was a few times that I had to exchange blows, and
y'all were big into ground fighting, right?
We were really into ground fighting.
That's a cool thing.
Yeah. So I mean, then I guess like in Afghanistan too, we just he just saw me like he never saw me treat a patient before because of the detail.
You start trading blows, right?
Yeah, just started beating the shit. But then he's just like he's like, you're aggressive. I'm like, yeah, I guess so. And he's like, I'm gonna start calling you Doc Kraken. I'm like, all right. So then and then when we're at like the range, I guess it started before at the range in Kuwait, like the way I was moving and the way I was shooting, he's like, it's just really nice to see a corpsman like acting like a fucking warrior.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I don't know, I like doing this. And he appreciated that I have tattoos. So he's like, and he was into it.
Did you have those Norse tattoos before?
No, this is my only Nordic tattoo.
If you would have said that, I wouldn't have known. I would have said that all of your tattoos are, I don't know. I mean, how much do you pay attention to like people's tattoos?
Not much.
Like, what do I have on me? Do you know?
You have a gorilla.
Yeah, but that's kind of.
You have a fleur-de-lis.
Oh, that's odd. You know that?
Yeah. And then you have an octopus.
Yeah. Like
unknowingly,
I got a Kraken tattoo.
Kraken tattoo. Yeah. I know your tattoos.
Okay.
But if I saw someone on the street, I'd just be like, there has been a few times I'm just like on like line at like Trader Joe's or something. I'm like, yeah, dude, I like your tattoo.
Yeah, but how easy is it to just, not pay attention to someone's?
Yeah.
And then also like
I usually don't talk to people in general. I'm just like,
yeah, no, you might need to work on that, but
did the podcast. With you, one of the people that actually know all their tattoos. This is really hard for me to do. Yeah. Fuck it. Whatever.
Yeah. So you'd say in the past 3 years you got into the Norse. Is that the correct term? Norse?
Nordic is more like if you're speaking about like the region.
Mm-hmm.
But Norse mythology, heathenism, paganism is those I was starting to study. Not like as an actual like devout, but I just found it very interesting, especially having that common interest with my platoon sergeant at the time. Yeah.
So you said you're a history buff. I actually didn't know that. I would say you're mostly like nutritional because you'll just whip some shit out of your ass
Yeah.
about like what's the back on the Coke can. But
Yeah.
so where do you think, like, I would probably say it came from like French and English, but like the first politics
First,
and politeness, like
first political system.
not political system, but I would think maybe political systems and kind of customs and courtesies probably all come from the same place, right? Do you think? Like this concept of politeness, you know? Because I'm trying to think of like, when did it go from like savagery to like, oh, let me open this door for you? Because it's not night and day.
Yeah.
And like that would be some of the things that Americans would try and do in America is convert the savages, the Native Americans, to the way that life is, the Christian way of life, which is, you know, sitting down, reading books, whatever have you, and not like being barefoot out on the prairie.
Yeah,
like they're savages.
So I mean, I feel like it really, because not as much history, but sociologically, politeness, which is kind of subjective, but
and I think I'm kind of missing the word, but like manners, or like, I don't know what word would like sum all that up to.
Right. I mean,
besides like customs and courtesies, or
yeah, I mean,
manners.
There's definitely there's still places in the world that there like aren't any manners.
Right. Third
like,
world.
Yeah, third world countries, like everyone's just trying to survive. But I would say sociologically, customs and courtesies started to be developed in countries that were successful in wars. What?
Nothing.
They were able to make money. So kind of like like when the bourgeoisie, I would probably say from like that point forward, there was a worldwide understanding of this society being polite.
Yeah. When do you think that was?
But when was that? Well, I mean, it depends. There's bourgeois throughout the whole.
I mean, it wasn't Egypt, was it? Or
no,
do you think
French.
It was? No, I know the word bourgeois is French, but like Egyptians had this very, and like you can even look throughout the Bible of like this linear timeline of like this is the king. Yeah. You bow to the king. You don't bow, heads chopped off, you know, and all these different societies. And now how loose or whatever kind of customs in this. I
don't think I understand the question. I don't think I know what you're talking about.
No, it's all good, dude. Won't you just give up?
I feel like sociology, when you're speaking about sociology, everything is very subjective, and it kind of blurs a lot of lines, because you say, let's say like saying about the bourgeois, right? They have money, they're affluent. Yeah. But you can't generalize the whole society, because there might be like one or two asshole people in the society, and then their culture is known as having this and that, these customs and courtesies.
Would you think it's the creation of these customs and courtesies comes from the surplus of resources, like being able to sit on stockpiles of something and then controlling people with their mind, as in like, what if I give you a little bit of this to not burn my village down? And like the Vikings, like, okay. Yeah. I go away now, but you give me half gold. And they're like, yeah.
Well, I feel like also with that, it's kind of like the bartering system, like how bartering is essentially not existent anymore.
Unless you go to a, I lost the word.
Exchange, was it? Yeah.
Farmer's market.
Farmer's market, yeah, but you're still paying money.
Yeah, I'm going to become a tax agent and just like roll up to a farmer's market, just start clubbing motherfuckers. Yeah. Like, oh, you have not been paying taxes for years.
I don't know.
Shoot someone's dog.
Just, shoot the coyote.
Yeah, fucking, it needs to die.
Yeah, it's either that or it's going to eat someone's
So you're saying bourgeoisie
I'd probably say
maybe the first, because that was who
worldwide. It's kind of
that was who the Vikings, like one of their main targets was, wasn't it? It's like the French,
the English
like raiding Paris.
Yeah, Yeah, when they sieged Paris was a huge historical
And then wasn't
timeline.
I don't know how accurate the show, but wasn't Ragnar's brother? Didn't he go off and marry like a French person and like speak the language and shit?
Yeah, he married, I believe she was supposed to be a princess
Yeah, but
of Francia.
they did the old switcheroo.
Yeah. I mean,
Bastards.
the main targets for, because Vikings, it's more one culture, and that was the Great Dane Army. So there's the Danish. A lot of people think that the Vikings were Swedish, or that's what I've heard. A lot of people are like, oh, well, I thought it was Swedish or Norwegian. But the Vikinger back in the day was kind of just like that warrior class, but the Great Danish Army was the one that
main people that are known as Vikings.
those are the Vikings.
But were there any other tall blonde dudes on boats fucking raiding shorelines and
They would recruit
clubbing motherfuckers?
a lot of them were mercenaries.
Okay.
To just have bodies.
Did you see the Northmen yet?
Not yet.
So something that's interesting in the Northmen is it seems very accurate as to like how everything goes. They have a kingship and like they have a jester and they have you fucking bow to the king or all this different like customs and courtesies.
Yeah, the Danish?
I would assume.
Yeah.
But like in the very beginning of the movie, it's like this dude's dad is the king and he's coming back from his long off voyage. He's returning like the king is coming and like they're Vikings and like he's coming in and they like parade him in and then he sits down at his fucking king chair and like the jester runs around and says he's the only one that's allowed to like make fun and it's like I didn't know that was a part of Viking culture at all.
So what happened was that cultural diffusion. The Great Danish Army, they used to siege a lot of raids, like river raids, right? So then like you have a lot of rivers in England. So then they would raid and they would, I mean, it's kind of hard to like be polite saying it, but they took a lot of culture from England, France. They went all over the world to.
I think you're trying to be polite because it's a faux pas nowadays, but like, dude, all cultures is melting pots if you get up in that shit, dude.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And they're like, oh, cultural appropriation. It's like, no, that's just the world, baby. That's just the way it works, dude.
If anyone says cultural appropriation nowadays, I feel like
you're not allowed to eat cinnamon then because that is from a certain region.
Right.
Only a culture. You
like
don't get to drink fucking tea because that's cultural appropriation of the Asian.
Yeah. And it's like, there'll always be.
I don't think I said the right.
It'll always be
the bing bongs, the guy.
Yeah, you didn't fucking know. But cultural diffusion, I think, is the best thing that ever happened to the world, and it was also there's a lot of evil that it brought.
I think that's the whole. Now, I am a Christian, but a little loose in the terminology of that. But also a little bit of Taoism makes sense to me.
Yeah.
That like, yeah, you might have great intentions, but what sneaks in behind you is like this other 50%.
Right.
Is the darkness of, capitalism or whatever have you, like a hospital. A hospital is a great thing, but what is it? It's a business. It's like, that's a little murky water. Maybe kind of, 50% of that might be evil. Maybe a touch in the middle is good. And then over here is really good with it. And it's like, kind of makes sense to me that, with great intentions, bad stuff can follow. And with bad intentions, maybe some good can sneak in too.
Right. I mean, that's just, I feel like anyone's beliefs, when beliefs start to really leak into someone's perspective, that's when it can get dangerous.
What do you mean? Can you give me an example?
Huh?
Can you give me an example? Because that's a pretty broad statement.
Well, personally, I feel like I see the world differently because of my beliefs, right? So.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah. But that's when it comes to like that Taoism or, I kind of go off of like the yin and yang, right? Mm-hmm. So I think like the world is personally right now, because of my experiences, I feel like the world is a bad place that good things can happen in, right? But that's because of my beliefs off of my experiences will lead me to having this view, this perspective.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's also because of your IQ. Because you're able to understand. because your IQ, you've been on 2 deployments, you've seen parts of the world that mostly people aren't exposed to.
Yeah.
Whether they see it on an infomercial at 2 o'clock in the morning, they really don't get to walk in your shoes and see poverty, see a third world country, or see violence.
Right.
It's really not anything that's around them. And then also I feel like you're an educated person with a higher IQ than the rest of the world. And therefore, when you pull that information in, you're like, oh, this shit's kind of fucked.
Yeah.
And I have a buddy, very, very high IQ. And for a while, he was suffering from depression because of what he did overseas. And I remember expressing it to another buddy. I was just like, yeah, we were both raised Christian and he's Christian, but, the Bible's really not doing it for him. It's like, that's not true. I'm like, well, you're approaching it from this very buttoned up Bible book.
Yeah.
Haven't left the country thing over here to where I'm telling you and what I'm seeing in him is that right now opening up this book isn't doing anything for him. There might be a lot of good parables and really good things about forgiveness and stuff, but that doesn't fix the trauma that he has witnessed or been a part of or had to do.
Right.
But that wasn't an acceptable answer for the Bible guy over here.
Yeah.
And I think for you, seeing the world, and for me, yes, that was definitely my case for a while. It's just like, yeah, I think this shit's more than, the 50%. It's a little bit more 75-25 on the bullshit, bad stuff in the world. As you get older, consume more information, decide up your mind, your beliefs change or don't. You still see the world, keep getting more. You're not dumb. You're not believing all the bullshit you're getting.
Yeah.
And life ain't all copacetic.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think you have to, for me, now I got them little young ones down there. I need to stay in a little bit of denial.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to get them through this shit.
Not even denial, but kind of just protecting you and your family.
Yeah.
There's no need to let that seep in.
And tell you what, I feel some sort of way going to Italy and not bringing my Second Amendment with me.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. I guess we take it for granted, It's just like, damn, like we have a lot of freedoms here.
We have a lot of freedoms here, but what I'm worried about, and this is spooky talk, is that I go to Italy. I'm doing I'm doing my stewardship. I'm doing the Navy thing. I'm working in a clinic, and then truly, the next officially announced World War III happens. And, I know I feel like we're already in it.
Cold War.
But what if something happens in Italy or whatever? They're not going to hand out rifles at an armory for me to protect my home.
Yeah.
I'm going to be there with a butcher knife at my front door. Like, hey, you get back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and first of all, that, like we said earlier, that shit, those days are over. It's going to be all economic and cyber.
So I have to kill someone to get their gun in order to get the wheat to make the bread, right?
Perspective.
Yeah.
So perspective. I mean, it's very easy to be paranoid, which is like not a bad thing. I feel like paranoia, because I'm paranoid. I feel like I always look over my shoulder. I mean, this was diagnosed by a psychologist, but it helps you be more vigilant, helps you be able to protect yourself and people around you.
Well, that was dude, I don't know how long he's been around, but the Sean Ryan show, I always pick up little clips on YouTube. Yeah. And there was one dude that was talking about there is a huge difference between paranoid and prepared. And they do have some overlap. It's like
I'm in that. I feel like the healthy medium is that overlap.
I think it gets in a little bit of a weird place when you're canning goods and burying them in your backyard.
Yeah, that's fun. That's
but
paranoid.
I don't know.
But perspective. Let's say like oh, this guy, he buries canned peaches in his backyard, and he's like, I'm prepared. It's like, but then someone else would be like, dude, you're paranoid.
Yeah. So I don't know. There was a dude, one of the corpsmen. He has a Toyota, He's like, yeah, keep a what is it, a mountain food, whatever, fucking dehydrated food.
Yeah, like the space stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were eating them a lot in Bridgeport. He's like, I keep one in a jet boil, some medical stuff, a heat blanket in my Toyota. It's like as a prepared thing. I'm like, yeah, man, I should probably step up a little bit to that.
Yeah.
But then it's like, no, underneath my desk, I have a Glock and a tourniquet, like everywhere you go. It's like, yeah, a little on the paranoid side. And then for me, dude, Tennessee, there's just a shooting. You get shootings in 29 Palms, all these different places. And it's like, does my Constitution allow me to concealed carry in uniform in order to fucking protect myself in a clinic when some dude goes array?
Right. Well,
you know, because the law says, or my jurisdiction says, I don't have authorization to do that. And if I get caught with a concealed carry, I'm a weirdo. And I'm also going to see the man. I'm going to get NJP'd.
yeah. I think
But if that protects me from, you know, fucking
you have a good case.
the room getting shot up,
You have a good case.
so I draw down on a motherfucker.
So you'd probably just be.
But I'm also untrained.
right.
I mean, I'm not going to the range every weekend.
No, yeah.
I'm not working on my draw.
Yeah. I mean, that's their perspective, and be like, "Well, you ever see me shoot before?" And then
No,
they'll
I'm
be like,
telling you,
you're
I'm telling you
untrained."
as a self-evaluator, like a big reason why I don't do that is because I don't go to ranges and spend money on ammo and sit there and
especially in California.
yeah. I know there is a place I can go, but like I don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore, like, oh, I do have all these reasons, but I shouldn't because of the fact that like training isn't being done by me.
Yeah.
And also, I don't want to be caught being the weirdo when I'm changing into PT gear. Like, yo, is that
It is. It's a 9mm.
Smith? You want to see it, dude?
Yeah.
Let's check it out, dude. Yeah, I've been training a lot.
It's not loaded.
It's not loaded, I think.
Yeah, I don't think so. Just fired into the
Dude, I let my kids play with it all the time.
Yeah.
I painted it yellow.
Yeah, the orange tip.
Yeah, it is. Pretty sweet.
What was I going to say? I think everyone should own a firearm.
Yeah, but you following the rules. You don't. Do you? You can say yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
Currently. But that's because I'm in California.
Do you have a California? You know what? Why get into it? You could own a firearm.
Yeah.
But you just have decided not to go through the painstaking process of owning a California firearm.
I know how to use it. So anyway, yeah. Not saying I do, not saying I don't.
I know how to use a gun, but
Yeah.
can I pop a Coke can off from 50 meters? No. Can you? Right now? When was the last time you shot a pistol?
Oh,
Yesterday, buddy.
yesterday. Long time ago.
Yeah.
A few months.
So, like, with the whole thing, if you watch anything on YouTube, and I'm not saying YouTube's but it's like all the gun tubers are just like, yeah, guns are great. Guns are very useful if you're in a bad situation, but it means shit if you don't have training.
Right.
And you don't have the motor functions to, like, carry through when you're super nervous or sweaty.
Yeah.
That, who's the terrorist that was just on Joe Rogan? The Green Beret? Vigilance Elite or whatever the fuck.
He's a terrorist?
Yeah, he got deemed by the FBI as a terrorist and got taken down.
I don't know.
He's
I don't follow any terrorists on social media.
he's not a real terrorist. He's a former Green Beret.
Oh,
No, dude, I don't like him.
what's his name?
No, I'm not gonna mention that guy's name, but no, he's not.
Fucking loser.
I'm not gonna go that far, but
You almost shot him.
Yeah, I know.
Fucking
I
showed
know
up. Got
that
lasered.
story. Anyway, there's this other dude that got deemed a domestic terrorist on social media and had to they closed all his businesses down and he couldn't. The fuck was that? All right, that's 3 hours. No, I'm kidding.
Really?
No,
Oh.
we have 30 minutes left.
Okay.
It's always good to keep recounting how much time we have left.
Why only 3 hours?
You want to go longer?
No. I just don't like having limits.
We can keep going.
I'm
dude.
ungovernable.
There we go. All the gun tubers are always talking about, like, dude. Oh, yeah. This guy talks about he has a training program and a preparedness program. Talks about tourniquets and like hemorrhages, having a tire kit, knowing how to like change your tire, just like very manly, common things, but the lost art of it, right? And he talks about he'll train people for shooting programs. He's like, dude, we'll do a 5-minute warm-up to get the blood going, then to shoot, and then go over your motor skills. He's like, dude, the amount of men that come through that can't do 5 minutes of my warm-up without just crumbling to pieces. And like for me, like that kind of clicks over my head when I'm in the gym, like putting miles down, just like, I can't be one of these fat tards that can't shoot a gun after speed walking for 5 minutes.
Yeah, I know. And that's the bad thing, because I mean, like, I say everyone should own a gun, right? But then that also comes with the fitness. That also comes with the willing to train.
Yeah.
Which is, I guess, a dying trait.
Yeah.
People don't have that that commitment or devotion to like protection anymore.
Well, do you think there is a hit out on masculinity?
A hit out on it? I think so.
Yeah.
I think ever since the Marine Corps was deemed as toxic masculinity.
Really?
Yeah. Do you remember that? A few years back, and I'm just like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, these are like
No, it's ridiculous. A dying coyote in the fucking. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. So, good thing I have these on. I'm not close to the window.
Yeah, I'm gonna close the window.
Okay.
Keep saying about toxic.
But ever since the Marine Corps was deemed as toxic masculinity, that's when I really felt like people were going to start buying into it and being like, you know, maybe it is toxic to have that much masculinity. But I don't think that like really it should be tied in, or, you know, firearms should be tied in with masculinity, because I feel like, you know, masculinity is usually, you know, thought out to be like only men.
Yeah.
Which, like, I feel like women they should be willing to train, and
just like a man can also be feminine.
Right.
A woman can be masculine. I would say even in a proper way, where you have a man that's not in their kid's life, and you have a woman teaching that son how to change a tire.
Yeah.
You know, that woman that's just like, I got to teach this kid how to tie a tie for his first job interview. The husband, the man, whatever, either died or took off, whatever, and she's trying to do right by the boy.
Right.
And she's being masculine in a good way.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like at this point in time, it's very easily avoidable, but I feel like it should just be like a unisex thing. Yeah. I mean, but nowadays we have kids saying that, you know, it's they, them.
Not in this house.
You just might as well just fucking be one person, like not like the same person, but like a unisex. Like, it doesn't, you could be a woman that changes a tire. Yeah. You could be a man that like does feminine things. Right. Right. I mean, I guess that's more like of an everyday thing. Yeah. Just be like, there shouldn't be like masculinity, or might as well just do everything. Like people say like, oh, women do like, you know, do the dishes and shit. Like, first of all, I hate doing dishes.
But that is my job in the house.
Yeah.
Often I fail, but at night I'm in the chore list of what me and my wife share. She basically raises the children and I do the dishes.
Yeah.
She does a lot.
Yeah.
But I do the dishes. I mean, that's, I mean, I don't know what to say.
No, I mean, fuck it. But now the way that I see it, I think it should just be blended society. Everyone does everything.
So what is it called? Non-binary?
Non-binary, you know? Non-binary. I mean, like, I have no problem with people who only stay to one role, you know? If you want to be masculine, that's all you want to do, like, awesome, dude. You're not doing good for yourself. Or if you want to just be like a woman, like, oh, like, I only do, let's say, feminine things. It's like you're limiting yourself to just that.
I think that's a broad statement, but I think what you're saying is like the bro that's like, no, dude, I don't fucking do that. That's not manly. And it's like, all right, well, you're a fucking idiot.
Right.
Dude, I'm not getting in a Prius, dude. That shit's gay, bro. And like,
It's like, okay, dude.
You're a moron. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, you're only sticking to one thing.
And then the dumb bitch that's like, no, that's gross. That's it's like she's got fingernails that are way too long to fucking function as a human.
Yeah.
To wipe her asshole.
Go spend $300 to get your tire fixed.
Yeah. That shit's gross. Yeah, dude.
I think this discussion's also very easily to sound like a bigot. It's like, okay, no bigotry involved. Learn how to like change a tire. Be able to do the laundry, and do the dishes.
Yeah, my dad didn't know how to do laundry until the day he died.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why I feel like older.
Yes, I know what you're saying.
Older societies
yeah,
that culture was just like, wake up, your wife makes you the coffee, I'm going to read the newspaper, and then I'm going to go to work, come back, and that's the status quo. That's exactly what I'm going to do every day.
Well, that's the nuclear family.
Nuclear family.
It's what our resources will never run out. Right. You can live the American dream by working for the company man. Being the company man, you can get your 401k, all your things, your retirement. You can have the car of your dreams. You can buy a second home working for the company.
Right.
And that's just not the case anymore.
No, yeah. And that's why I feel like everyone should just be blended and be able to do both roles, because now masculinity, yes, there is a hit on masculinity, and it's starting to die out, which I feel like, and that's why I say like the new generations, like this non-binary thing, it's like now they don't even have an identity. They don't know where to go.
Right.
That's why they're so like aggravated and frustrated.
Well, I think it's lack of purpose, lack of identity. Like, who am I supposed to be? And I definitely suffer from that. I'm a fucking 34-year-old E4 corpsman, and I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. Like, I was at the crossroads of getting out of the military. It could still happen. Like, my orders could fall through. I not go to Italy, and I'm just like, well, dude, I am unprepared, but I guess I'm getting out. Like, I'm not accepting those bullshit orders.
Yeah.
Because that's what would happen. Like, well, dude, what do I do? But I know fundamentally, as far as I made it so far, I could rely on my skill set and tools that I've had instilled and I've worked on to make a living. I could be a paramedic. I could be a firefighter. Yeah. I could be a policeman, but I don't want to be that last one. I don't really. No, that's not really my thing. No. I could be a carpenter. I could try and make this work, But and that goes into the generational. What generation are we? Am I a millennial? I don't know. Whatever. Let's call ourselves millennials.
Sure.
This millennial generation isn't necessarily incentivized by money, which that used to be everything. It's like, how are you going to make money?
Yeah, the working class.
Well, no, I mean, once I make it as an artist or whatever, the money will come. But how are you going to make money? And granted, there's a lot of failures out there that tried to be a Hollywood actor. Yeah. But if everybody took that advice on you'll never make money doing it, you would never have anybody living down the street in multi-million-dollar mansions.
Yeah. Right.
Being movie stars. But as a societal, like, we have no fucking direction to where to go, I think.
Yeah.
Nowadays.
I feel like nowadays everything is kind of just in a faded description of how life should be. Kind of like, I mean, that's why I like reiterate the new generation, because it's like, if by now the only thing you're really latching onto is trendiness of, let's say, like this non-binary thing, right? And then let's say, like, it's like a trend on TikTok, apparently, that it is like trendy to say you are neurodivergent.
What does that mean?
It's like essentially having like a disorder or like autistic, right? And it's like, this is what's important, right? To get attention, saying this is what I have.
Yeah.
I mean, like, anyone could be diagnosed with anything, but then there's like the self-diagnosis, and this is the only thing that is, at least this new generation, what is important to them. Not getting a job, not being able to learn, you know, like studying things. Like the old generation, or at least our generation, and the one prior is like, you're gonna get a job, you're going to do something, meaningful. Either I guess it's either military, get a good job, go to college.
Yeah.
But now it's starting to fade away, and you have people or kids at least, that are not even, they have no path. So I think it's really more like the parents' fault.
Yeah. Well, that's a huge thing that you'll see all these at the town halls or whatever. Or someone made it on the news and they're talking, oh, the children.
Right.
And it's like, well, they're teaching them in schools and and all. What is it? A cross-dressers teaching or reading books at a library or whatever.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, then parent, don't take your child to that, and then that's not an issue.
Right.
When your child comes home, spend time with them and learn what they learned and have an impression on your child. Moreover, my wife sent me a book when we were on deployed. I read the first few chapters, but pretty much pulled exactly what I need out of it pretty quickly. And it was, be your kid's number one. Your kids will stray from the path of, aptitude and goal orientation and being an adolescent and like going off and doing drugs and shit when their friends are number one, when their teacher's number one, when their football coach is number one. And like, these aren't necessarily bad things. Like, your teacher and your football coach isn't bad for your kid, but like, I can definitely tell you my parents weren't number one when I was in high school. Yeah. My football coach would like teach me some discipline and be like, oh, dude, this is kind of dig what he's saying. And then my buddies were mainly my number one. Like, dude, I'm trying to fucking smoke weed, dude. And it's like, be your kid's number one, and then they won't stray from the path of what you're trying to teach them and how you're trying to grow them to be an adult.
Right.
And I don't know. It gets into a dicey area. I know one of my brothers is going to homeschool his kids.
Okay.
And I was homeschooled up until 8th grade, and definitely didn't like it. There was definitely some good things. Like, I have a strong bond with my mother, really good relationship, but I was fucking social retard probably till now. Still am, And so he sent me a meme. He's just like, homeschooling your kids, promising that your kid won't grow up to be a blue-haired communist.
I mean, if it really comes down to parenting, then one, the child is going to completely latch on immediately what the parent's teaching.
Yeah.
But I doubt any parent right now is like, oh, like, no, please be completely different than everyone else. Diagnose yourself with autism, do all this crazy shit. I doubt the parents are going to do that or teach them that. So it's I guess it is 50-50. Like, the kid is not getting like the sociological norms that they should probably know. You have to fit in.
Right.
You have to have a community.
Yeah. Well, so I'll say this. We're at a pizza place with the kids. The kids are riling up, right? And my wife is like, and I'm like, just relax. Hey, they're being kids. They're climbing all over. This place is kind of a shithole pizza restaurant. Like, I'm not really worried about it. She goes, well, I wasn't raised that way, and I don't want my kids to act that way. I go, yeah, but just relax. Just let them eat pizza and kind of be little monsters a little bit.
Yeah.
She goes, well, how are they going to learn? By seeing how we act.
Yeah.
When we're not climbing over the seats to do whatever, be it round and playing.
Right.
As they mature, they'll emulate us more. And I need to get off my phone, But like, these children that are on TikTok, or even adults that are pretty much fully matured on TikTok, saying this bananas shit about their neurological impaired whateverness.
Right.
They don't have good examples. They don't have good examples of what I would say a studious adult is. Yeah. Someone that wakes up and does do partially. Now, I don't agree with 100% of being the businessman, but like, there's a point in your life where you need to wake up and grind.
Yeah.
You need to, whether it's sign yourself up for the military, and you don't have to be a gunner, dude. You don't have to be out there running and gunning and shooting. You can be a clerical worker. You can be supply. You can do all these other things besides be a shooter, and they'll pay for your college. They'll do all this shit. Now, maybe you don't believe in the principles. Okay, join the Peace Corps. They have benefits too.
Yeah.
So, I just don't believe that. First of all, I think I kind of agree with the bro Jogans out there that in 25 years, social media will be looked at like cigarettes. Just like, I can't believe you did that around your child. You put your child on social media, you're out of your mind.
Yeah, there's
you know what these 15-second clips on TikTok is doing to your brain?
Yeah.
We're just not there yet. But, dude, they have dialed it in. They're all in the scrolling.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what's next? What's next? What's next?
Consumer.
YouTube does the little tiles.
Yeah.
Oh, 15 seconds. Ooh, nice.
I could do that.
A little dopamine.
Yeah.
A little dopamine. I go over to TikTok. No, not TikTok. I don't fucking use that communist shit. YouTube or Snapchat.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh, what is this Karen doing? Oh, little tiles. Oh, yeah. Gym fails.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep watching this.
I'm going to keep on watching.
And you'll see the same video actually make it up in a string of videos. And you're just like, I've seen that one video before.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's this next video?
Uh-huh.
And it's like, oh, dude, we're on this fucking trip, constantly just banging our brains, a little bit of dope, dude. Let me get a little bit of dope. When now I say projects are fun for me. I get to distract myself and fucking work on something, maybe make my yard into grass or whatever, fix my truck. I can go drive my truck and put my kid in the back seat and go have a fun time.
Mm-hmm.
I think people are divergent of that. I don't think people are setting a goal, working towards it, not having it accomplished instantly, and then later on having it accomplished. I think we're moving away from that.
I feel like people are just taking life for granted. I feel like everything is taken for granted nowadays, which causes laziness and it causes misdirection. I'm not saying that anyone who says they're non-binary or that they're neurodivergent or those people are misguided. I think that they just don't have a proper identity that they can identify with.
Yeah.
So they find something that makes them to themselves feel meaningful.
Yeah.
Or that they hold weight, that they actually are worth something because they're part of something.
Well, I think it kind of maybe ties into the fact that the working class is disappearing.
Yeah.
I think it was Theo Vaughn, and he made an anecdote. He's like, dude, remember back in the day when like kids' dads did something and be like, dude, my dad made that table.
Yeah.
He's a carpenter, dude. He makes tables.
Yeah.
My dad works at GM, dude. He makes cars.
Mm-hmm.
We're a GM family.
Right.
We're in GM cars because that's what Pop makes.
Mm-hmm.
Or my dad drives for Coca-Cola. He's a truck driver, and everywhere he goes, he's dropping off Coca-Cola. We're a Coca-Cola family.
Right.
And it's like people used to have that, what is it, nationalism?
Yeah, nationalism, patriotism.
Patriotism, nationalism.
Yeah.
And now the working class is dissolving a little bit from the free checks from COVID and the, what is the other thing?
Dude, COVID did it to us.
Yeah, well, that's what that spy was saying about, or that CIA dude was saying about, like, our economy is in the shitter right now.
Well, if you want to be real paranoid, how about China caused COVID to destroy our culture?
How about COVID was a scare tactic to see how we would react, then to let us loosen down on everything, get rid of the mask and be anti-vaccine, and then hit us with something real.
That's paranoid. That's even more paranoid.
I don't live that way, but
No,
if you think about it,
it's possible.
it's possible.
Anything's possible.
Then we nuke them fucks. Nah, we're too far in their pocket, dude.
You gotta believe that.
Why? Nuking the bing bongs, dude? Nah, I'll bleep that.
Yeah, that one's bad. Yeah. But
I don't know if I will. I kind of like that. I mean, you say I'll dub it over to you to make it.
Say it. Yeah. I wouldn't say that. Like, I actually would never say that. The generation that follows is doomed.
No,
but I feel like they are misguided.
Yeah, but I think
pretty much.
I think they're all in a
Denial.
quarter life crisis, and it's going to take some people, for examples, to go in the right direction. I think people like Jordan Peterson, Joe Rogan, dude, like almost any podcaster or any guy that makes a table. I follow tons of carpenters.
Mm-hmm.
I remember telling my mom, like, if I get out, I might become like a YouTube carpenter or like a carpenter. No, like, you're not going to make any money doing that. Well, it's like almost a quadruple like beneficiary thing. As you make a product, you sell it.
Mm-hmm.
You film it, you make money off the video.
Yeah.
Then you get sponsors to maybe even sponsor your materials or sponsor the tools. Therefore, bringing your cost down to zero, or just your cost is like positive, which is like on an accounting thing. It's like, oh, I got paid money to do everything here and sell the product on top of it. And then, I don't know what the fourth thing would be, but
you'd be feeding the machine.
Feeding what machine? YouTube?
Consumerism. If you're a consumer, right? So then with that, I feel like you would just be feeding the machine.
But for people like me, those examples of this dude in Oklahoma called Puddin's Fab Shop.
Yeah.
Dude does not live at a nice house.
Puddin.
He's a cool dude, man. He's got like 200,000 subscribers.
He's from Russia, Puddin?
No, it's a nickname. Old Puddin. He's building a new house. He just bought a shop with property, building a new house on the front of it, moving out of his old brownstone. He builds jalopy cars.
Nice.
He sells merch, and it's like, and then another dude quit being an Air Force pilot or some sort of pilot in the military, officer, pilot in the military, quit, makes tables up in Oregon, has a YouTube channel, sells his tables for 10, 15,000 per, sponsored by tool companies, sponsors material, makes money off of YouTube, makes money off of his things, makes money off of advertising. Yeah, that's it. The fourth thing I forgot. He also makes money off of advertising the tools he's using.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Would you be?
But that gives me to. These guys are still working class, but they put themselves into their own category. As they're not just a waiter, they're not just a truck driver. They're doing something they're passionate about. Yeah. And like, dude, I really like this. I just don't know if I have enough people to talk to. I'm being dead serious. Like, that was one of the things I was afraid of getting out of the military. This is a military-based podcast.
Right.
If I get out and I'm just sitting in Texas, kind of isolated, like, does anybody want to come on to my podcast?
Well, there's no more milkman. So if you had a milkman, you could be like, hey, man, could you just...
Hey, you're a postal worker, right? DOD? No? What? You want to talk on the mic for a little bit?
He's like, what are you talking about? I don't know. I just figured I'd ask if you wanted to be on my podcast.
You one of them gay boys, huh?
You're inviting me in your house to do some crazy stuff on camera?
I heard about you gay boys out here.
I don't like it. Go home. You stay here. Yeah, I don't know. Generation, it's different.
It's different, man.
Sound like boomers, but
what is it? Hard times make hard men.
Yeah, and
hard men make
hard times make hard men.
Hard times make hard men. Hard men make soft times. Soft times make soft men.
Mm-hmm.
And then soft men make hard times. And then it takes a couple different, you know what I'm saying?
It's generations, yeah.
Yeah, it takes generations to like get back to the getting yourself out of poverty into a successful place and then making it easy for your kid. Like, it's the whole like generational with your kids. You make money to support your kids, and then your kid has it easy. Kid takes everything for granted. Yeah. And then when they have kids, they have nothing to give to them because their dad gave them everything.
Right.
And then their kids have to get out of the squalor.
Yep. Just vicious cycle.
Vicious cycle, dude. Let's nuke them all.
Just kill everyone.
Let's get out of here, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good stint right there. Generations.
Good, or you want to keep going?
It's up to you. It's your podcast.
We got 6 minutes left.
For what?
3 hours?
Until 3 hours?
With about 5 minutes of bullshit in the front.
I hope everyone is willing to listen to that banter about generations.
So something I need to do with this is actually get it onto another platform because a lot of people.
Do you have to pay to put it on podcasts on Apple Podcasts?
No. So it's a little bit confusing, and I finally figured out why it was so confusing. You would think like YouTube. So here's the deal. Not everybody pays for YouTube like me. I consume YouTube probably 99% out of all media is YouTube because I like car restorations and this and that and Joe Rogan or whatever. So But I'll get from people like, oh, is it on Spotify? Is it on Apple? I'm like, well, no. I'm like, well, dude, I can't just like listen in my car because I have to have the video playing. Because when you click out and you don't pay for YouTube, it just like turns off.
Yeah.
And so getting on, I don't know about Spotify, but getting on Apple, it has to be a certain file type. And just having it created from whatever editor I has isn't that way. And in order to upload it to it, you have to send it to you have to have some sort of establishment, which mainly is the file type.
Fuck.
And then so you use a website that converts it to the file, and then it lets you upload to each one of like Spotify, YouTube, and all these different platforms. And I've started to do that once, and I was just like, I'm not going to do that right now.
You have to hire a Jamie.
Or I could do like Puddin's Fab Shop and do everything myself and let this die out when I go to Italy and I don't have a third room. And yeah, I don't know what happens for this. And then, then everybody deploys in like 3 weeks.
When are you leaving?
Probably September, August, September. So I'm a weird thing. You ever heard of HYT Plus?
Yeah.
Do you know what it is or no?
Yeah,
I just found out about it.
Higher tenure and you're prior enlisted?
No.
Then I don't know what HYT is.
So it's everybody that would normally be forced out of the military because of too much time in grade.
Yeah.
Are getting like 3-4 year extensions, not re-enlistments. They're getting observe for 3 years. So I'm about to not re-enlist, but observe to the military once I get orders to go to Italy for 3 years, for however long they need me to go to Italy for.
Damn.
Yeah, because the Navy's just hurting because all these goddamn millennials won't join the fucking. You don't want to nuke China? Come on. You got to be a part of it, dude.
That's like one of the only things that I feel like they're really worried about is just Manning.
Yeah, and they're also like, why can't we keep people? It's like, well, you treat us like shit until it's time to like, oh God, we're down 20% on this personnel. Let's offer them this, and that. And did you ever? I just learned about it. The McPun on Reddit. McPun answers Reddit.
No.
Dude, I mean, you can't. I guess you could.
Reddit's
dude. This was the same thing. I got out of the Marine Corps when it was the first non-infantry commandant took over. I think it was like General Amos or something, and he was an air winger, and it was still in between services. Somehow, I don't know why, but it was him on a YouTube clip, and he was talking about how he answered the internet, and they asked people to write in, and he was going to answer the comments or I forget. And it's like the same thing with the McPun, but they had a video of this general. He's just like, everybody was just so rude. We were really surprised and shocked of the vulgarity that we got. And it's just like, you're an old man that doesn't understand the internet and the anonymity that comes with being behind a screen and a keyboard.
Yeah.
You can say whatever you want, so long as your name pretty much isn't in the title of your tag.
Prepared to get roasted.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. And the same thing. It's like I was just kind of skimming through McPun Answers Reddit. And it's just like, how come all my friends keep fucking killing themselves? And like, well, if you would like to message the office, or here's a suicide hotline. And they're like, I fucking re-enlisted 4 times and I can't get a fucking bonus. And then, well, if you would message to McPun's office, we can maybe help you with that.
Yeah, yeah. Because they feel like that no one would reach out.
I came from overseas and they fucked my orders over and I fucking couldn't get, and my home goods got lost. And well, if you would, and like
the same shit every time.
Yeah. And people start commenting like, is this a fucking like bot answering this shit? This is a joke. And like, no, this is no joke. If you would just, and like, it just got to a silly point where I quit reading it, but it was the person has been in for probably 35 years. I don't know. That's easily lookable. Really educated podcast here. But this person's probably on the older side.
Yeah.
And thinks that Reddit answer the internet is a good idea. and that they will be able to sort the shit storm of comments that comes their way in a positive light.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just contact the office.
Just contact the McPun's office.
This was me contacting the McPun's office.
I contacted them on Reddit. I don't understand why.
Yeah.
Well, we tried to answer them all, but we got 56 million comments.
I can't.
We haven't had that many military service members in the entire United States Navy since its creation, so we don't know where all these people came from.
Yeah. It's not even just service
Russian
members.
bot 69 has a question why the comrades are so low.
Yeah. Where do you have your military installations throughout the whole nation?
Yeah. A lot of intuitive GPS coordinates were asked.
Well, if you contact the office of the
if you contact the McPun's office, we would be glad. It's just San Miguel.
Yeah.
Hello, this is the McPun's office.
Yeah.
Well, if you come down here, I'll show you.
Fucking asshole.
Yeah, fucking asshole.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah, dude. You fucking. I'm trying to get my rifle from the fucking armory. They said I don't have one anymore.
I didn't know I needed cards.
Shoot him in the fucking face. Give him a goddamn gun.
Yeah, I lost the fucking cards. What's it to you?
I didn't give a shit.
Hell yeah.
All right, man.
That was a good.
Thanks for coming, dude.
Thanks for coming.
All right.
Thanks for coming on my podcast.
Thanks for coming, dude.
Thanks for coming.
Two idiots talking. It does it automatically. I don't need to do it anymore.
It's not analog anymore.
Yeah. My tailbone always hurts.
Really? Tailbone just hurts for nothing.